Hi guys, and welcome back to VCT Game Changer Southeast Asian Series FSL, the league that's all about growing the competitive women's gaming scene and seeing how women in esports change the game. It's us again, your host Jenny Richie Lee, your caster Zaya, and of course, once again, this FSL Overtime Wildcard is brought to you by our sponsor Intel, supported by our official media partner Yahoo, and also official chair partner Secret Lab. Zaya, what did you think about that earlier best of three series between G9 and Asteria? I mean, that game one looked pretty close. That second game, though, like Asteria really had that one in the bag. What are your thoughts?
Definitely. On the first game, though, it's already evident that Asteria had the upper hand, especially when they were on the attacker's side. So basically, they kind of want to dictate the plays. They want to have the momentum up on their arsenal, which really showed in towards their split map. On towards the second half, we did see some moments where in G9 really had a close fight with them. They had these moments wherein they know they predicted to where Asteria was at and how they are going to execute their playstyles. But in the end, because with the help of Asteria's diversion plays through and through, they were able to conquer out the split map during that first match. On towards the second one is Icebox, wherein basically Asteria dominated all throughout in towards that match, simply because having a 13-2 scoreline is a thing. But the other thing is the fact that they were able to really sandwich them, as we were coining them out earlier. They were able to create a lot of space for their team so that it catches Team G9 off guard and is not able to react in time wherein they can go for more clutch plays. And G9 unfortunately was not able to really adapt to the changes that's been simultaneously happening from the side of Asteria, and it basically snowballed for them. Hence the reason why Asteria really created the statement that they dominate in towards the Icebox map.
Yeah, for sure. I think we were really expecting Asteria to show up over on Icebox since, pre-game we were talking about how pretty much every time they were able to have that map pick, they've gone for Icebox. Every time they've picked Icebox, they've won their games. So that was definitely a pretty sweet show that they put on in that map number 2. I wanted to also ask you about this really quick before we move on to our second best of 3 series for G9 because we are playing a whole 3 days of playoffs this time around for Wildcard. They're not out of the competition just yet. They've once again dropped down to the lower bracket, not really the position that they want to be in, but I wanted to ask you, Zaya, just after seeing those 2 maps, what do we think of G9's chances going forward in the rest of this competition?
G9 has their moments wherein they can do creative plays, they can do creative highlights. I think one of the things that they have to note here is number one, their angle isolations. They have to pick off their fights really carefully. They have to proceed basically with caution with every attempt that they try to take a hold of the site. Second thing is their utility usage. We did see time and time again, especially in towards that split map area wherein they were the attacker side, the lockdown wasn't really used to its maximum potential because they haven't basically conquered the site just yet. So basically the usage of utilities is also important, and basically the thing that they also have to take caution is the predictable corners, because we've seen some multiple cases as well for G9 that even if you think that these corners aren't occupied by your opponents, you can never really tell whenever they try to go into that position. So for the chances of them in towards since they still do have the chance, I think it's just more on basically them trying to retrace the steps because they have the highlights. So I'm pretty sure that they can do it. They just need to really move forward into those plays.
Yep, so looking forward into our second and final best of 3 series for today. We've got Team Couldn't Care Less going up against Team Komorebi Hearts. And I mean, I'm pretty excited for this one. Team Couldn't Care Less, they're the first multinational team in FSL for this year. It's just super exciting. Their roster is made up of, if I've got this right, Malaysian, Singaporean, PH, India, and Pakistan is where their players are from. They're on your screen. As you can see, it's going to be Sway, Iluru, Fear Antic, Kate there's Jaded, as well as Mythica to round them out. They do have a 6 8-player roster this time around. Pretty much the roster was formed by Sway after she left Asteria at the end of FSL Open 5. So this is a pretty exciting team. It's the first time like this entire team composition is playing together. So I'm pretty excited to see how that one's going to shake up.
Definitely. And of course, on the other side of the spectrum here, we do have Komorebi Hearts. They do have 5 PH players and of course one Malaysian team, which is Cairo, if I'm not mistaken. These are the teams respectively here, and they are the ones who has participated in FSL's tournaments consistently from, if I'm not mistaken, Open 3 onwards to overtime. And now here we go, on to the wildcards. They have also fought their way up from the first round of losers bracket to make it all the way to the playoffs. So basically they really grinded their way in towards getting the spot that they have right now. So for both of these teams, I'm just excited how things are gonna go and play here, because I've seen the previous match, and you know, more intensity is gonna come up here on the next best of threes.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's just really exciting when we look at just how different the rosters from both these teams are this time around. Because as you mentioned, Komorebi Hearts, they're coming in, having played in so many of the previous Opens. They played in 3, 4, 5, 6, and then overtime last month. And now pretty much Wildcard is their very last chance to make it into FSL Elite. So they've had a pretty rough 4 or 5 months lately, but at least, you know, the roster is pretty experienced playing together. Whereas on the other hand, we've got Team Couldn't Care Less, who I kind of feel like they definitely haven't had as much time to work together in terms of like communication with this team. As we mentioned earlier, it was pretty much formed by Sway, and then it's pretty much Sway plus 2 other duos. I think Furantic as well as K Theirs have been on a couple of teams together, and then also Iluru and Aisha have been on a couple of other teams together. So I'm just kind of curious to see just how much time the team has been able to like to scrim, to practice, and get used to each other's play styles. But I mean, we'll see. It's going to be pretty exciting for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you on that sentiment, because it really takes quite some time to build up that synergy that you have with the team, especially if it's you know, basically newly founded or newly built together. So yeah, this is you know, a really exciting game for me. But if you were to ask me about predictions here, I am going to say that later, because we are looking at the map selections right now. It's Ascent, Split, and a Haven. Ooh.
Yeah, so this is going to be pretty interesting. Team Couldn't Care Less, we do know from their last week's games that in general they do prefer Ascent as well as Icebox. We don't have Icebox for this series. However, Ascent is going to be played first, so they're going to be starting out strong on this one. Haven, though, if the series does go to a map 3, is going to be pretty dicey for Komorebi Hearts, because historically they have 0 wins on Haven so far. Every single Haven map that they've had, they've lost. So that's going to be really tricky for them if the series does go to that 3rd map. But guys, here to bring all of you the action for the next series are Kentril Quack as well as Donut. Lady and gentlemen, all ears on you.
Hey, it's Donut, and hey, I'm Quack. All right, I don't know. It's gonna be a crazy game. Couldn't Care Less versus Komorebi Hearts. We just saw the map selection. Do you have any thoughts? You used to be an ex-pro, right?
Yes, I did used to play. So this FSL Wildcard is really close to my heart, and I'm very excited to be really casting now the girls, because the team of Komorebi Hearts, we've always gone against them during the team fights, and I know that they truly deserve the spot here in FSL Wildcard. And for the side of Couldn't Care Less, it's like picking and choosing the best players in each of the regions and then putting them all together to really secure that spot for FSL Elite, right?
It really could be one of those things, and that is where, I don't know, maybe they're bringing things from some of these different countries, and it's gonna just melt into this huge mixing pot where they have an interesting composition, interesting strat. But that said, you know, just taking a look at the way that their group stages have gone thus far, I mean, yes, they have their favorite maps, they have all these different regions, different countries, different players, but for at the very least Couldn't Care Less, they got kind of, I don't want to discount them at all, but maybe a little bit lucky, or at least what I'm seeing on the website is that their first game, the other team kind of forfeited for whatever reasons. So,
Yeah.
and then after that, they just
It's
moved
a
forward in the upper bracket. Second game, it was 13-9, and they did do pretty
Ooh.
well against a team that also has been kind of participating in FSL for quite a while. It's I don't think they're a team to be messed with, but that said, I don't know how they look in terms of like preparation and whatnot.
Yeah. And for the map of Ascent, as mentioned by our panel earlier, that Ascent is really one of the best maps of Couldn't Care Less. And now Komorebi, they always want to pick Ascent. So this selection is going to be really a battle between the big guns because this is their favorite map and this is where they will show off, right? But
Mm.
right now, looking at the draft and looking at the picks, it's going to be really a mix now because Exekeys is going to be that Sova for the team and Strawberry Bagel. They have had a lot of reruns in terms of their roster, but
Whoa,
right
whoa,
now I
whoa,
think
whoa.
in terms of the fortification, right now Cairo as that Killjoy is always going to be that Gandalf for the team.
Hmm.
With how she does set up the traps in terms of the defense, she couldn't let anybody else pass. But for the team of Couldn't Care Less, what's surprising here is L
Choose your agent.
hovering over that Viper. So what do you think about this, Quack?
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Viper on a set, right? Because it's just difficult for you to control how much you can actually block off with your toxic screen, and if you want to use your poison orb, you really need to have lineups studied and memorized. So thankfully, yeah, they're gonna switch off of that, and it's gonna be Catharsis who, in fact, goes for the Astra pick. Of course, a slightly more versatile controller for the map Ascent. But here we go. I mean, I really love the things that we've got going on. We've got the Gandalf, like you said, the Killjoy,
Yeah.
Cairo. Aside from that, just want to point out real quick, Strawberry Bagel, best name ever that I've ever seen.
We could be duos, right? So you can have a strawberry bagel and then I'll be the donut.
Yeah, the donut.
Yeah, and
But
we can actually collect casters who have food for their names because a lot of I know a lot of people who have food names when they cast. So a lot of the audience would say, "Okay, I'm getting hungry with all of these names that I'm seeing on screen now."
100%. In FSL, we see quite a number of food names. I'm pretty sure we've seen like mochi before, stuff like that. But
Yeah.
regardless, the game is going to be starting pretty soon. This is going to be the first round on Ascent. Couldn't Care Less versus Komorebi Hearts. And right now, to start things off, Komorebi Hearts on the attacking side, they're trying to push past this Astra Nebula along with their Owl Drone, but unfortunately, they're met with quite a bit of resistance. The paint shells connecting onto two players, and that is a huge chunk of their health gone.
Yeah, I mean that's gotta hurt at least now. But ooh, she's gonna keep to her position. She's gonna
Uh-oh.
get one, but traded out here by Strawberry Bagel. But there's a lot of action here towards the tree room now, and now Catharsis. She's actually gained her ground back here in the A site. There are two members remaining now for Komorebi, and it seems like the A site is impenetrable. They haven't yet gone in, so now it's time for Strawberry Bagel to cast out that blind for them to get that entry. But no, Catharsis is just going to stop them all. There was that trade, but that position, they just really decided to play together, and that was a good defense for the team of Couldn't Care Less.
Exactly, and I think the key word that you said right there, and I have to agree with it, is the decisiveness of what we're seeing from Couldn't Care Less. We don't see a lot of hesitation. In fact, they're just going in for that information. A little bit of a jiggle peek in towards A main. They see that there are players, or they hear something. They chuck the paint shells, and that is the catalyst for the entire round. After that one play, even if they tried to go for the A split, it was a lot more difficult for Komorebi Hearts to pull anything off. So this time around, round number 2, we'll have Komorebi Hearts kind of playing a bit at the back foot for a second. They're not going with all that much aggression, not going with any aggressive peaks for the time being. In fact, Strawberry Bagel, hearing the boombot, is going to back off and grant Couldn't Care Less all the space that they were looking for.
No, no, Strawberry Bagel is gonna be greeted by two members flanking, and now Lolita, she knows that somebody's going to be behind her, so she just really moves forward. If she gets this kill, this might be a turnaround for the team, but Catharsis, she's just really patiently waiting here. She knows she sees the barrel of that pistol, and now that's going to be a successful flank now as Sway gets another kill. There's just one remaining, and that's going to be Cass, and she has nothing to do now because Sway will finish her off. And now it's a 2-0, a very successful bonus round because no casualties on the end of Couldn't Care Less. And now this is going to be a healthy start for them. If and when they lose this round, they are still able to buy out the rifles for the next.
Exactly, right? Like, this is the best start that they could ask for. In fact, like you said, incredibly healthy. It was a flawless win. And that's why it's such an incredible thing. Even though this is only round number 2, the way that they've been approaching it, the way that they're pushing out together as a duo, if someone goes down, there's someone there to trade. In fact, just because they have the Spectres, they feel that much more confident in going for these pushes. This time around, though, a little bit of an inquisitive play in towards B main. They get met with a turret, but Cairo was unable to take them down, so that might be a free weapon upgrade. And even though they have managed to gain control over the A site, what they don't know is that Jaden is hiding right underneath Hell. She gets taken out, but Lolita is there to trade things off.
Well, she's down to 19 HP, but this is a very doable situation for them. They're up the women advantage, but there's really more plays for the attacking team as they guard that ticking spike. But El she sees nobody here in this site. They don't really know if they're down here or up above, but she does spot Lolita there holding her ground towards Hell, and now Catharsis is going to be there for the trade. There's just going to be one left, and Exequis. Where is Sova?
Oh no,
She
DC'd.
got disconnected. I thought it was a 1v1, but that was just unfortunate for the team of Couldn't Care Less, and this is now a free point for Komorebi Hearts.
Very, very unfortunate. I think if they had the Sova still in the game with them,
Yeah.
that might have been a different result, but it is what it is. It kind of happens sometimes. And then again, you know, they are playing from multiple different countries,
Yeah,
some of them
that's
from
true.
South Asia as well. But it's nice to see a little bit of that South Asian representative. Again, I have to point out, like, yes, they did lose the round, sure, but they were almost 100% successful with that retake. I mean, the way that they were approaching it, just knowing where the players would be positioned, using their Spectres, able to take them out. Yes, yeah, it came down to the play from A main, and that's where Executis was able to secure the round for Komorebi Hearts, but this is Couldn't Care Less, and I kind of want to say that they're looking at, like, they're actually quite a scary team. I mean, they've already performed this well, and just a quick little, like, FYI tidbit thing. Sway's Twitter account at Sway for Real, she tweeted something a week ago, and it says qualified for playoffs with like 1 week of prac. LMAO. That's a huge statement.
Yeah. Yeah, and what more if you did have time to prepare for the playoffs, right? During the whole week, they had time to prepare. They had time to fortify their strategy, so they're gonna be a little bit scary. Going against Komorebi Hearts, and as you mentioned earlier, you said that maybe Couldn't Care Less was just really lucky for the first few matches because one forfeited and they got a very dominating round after. But I guess this is where it will be proven if they are just really lucky or they do have that skill and they can be as scary.
I really think that they can be, but then again, it comes down to how the games are played. For now, it seems like even though they're just on defense, they have that really strong setup. Like you said, right? I mean, earlier on in towards Agent Select, we're seeing the exact thing happen right now. It's the Killjoy, the Gandalf on the B side. You see all of that utility to basically lock things out. If Komorebi Hearts tries to make a play, they'll get met with a Nanoswarm. So if they try to shut the door down, Nanoswarm right there. Turret's going to get some information and slow them down a little bit as well. Maybe not too much because of the recent nerfs, but it's still, it makes it difficult. It makes it labored for Komorebi Hearts if they want to break in towards the B site. And then you have the A site, and that's where you got someone like the Rays, you got someone like the Astra, you got so much potential for stalling that I don't quite know how Komorebi Hearts will be able to secure a win. I mean, do you have any thoughts about this?
Well, I wanted to say that Catharsis, her position towards three room is very very vital because she can just easily rotate towards B if she is needed, but also the amount of access that she does have, like a hiding place there towards tree
Mm.
to really just place her stars all over the map. So that's the beauty of an Astra here, especially for Catharsis, who has also been, um, playing a duelist. So it really just goes to show that the timing of the skills will really play well. But in terms of the defense, how it could be done by Komorebi is maybe just really through those entries, because they haven't really stepped in towards a site without a fight just yet.
Mm.
Maybe the coordination for Cass's paranoia especially will really um give them that big advantage, because they went for that Omen instead of that Astra. So they must use all of the utilities well in terms of those entries. So whether it's going to be B, they just really have to displace that Killjoy. Yes, there are going to be swarm grenades. That's gonna hurt, but at least they are able to get to that site. Because the first two rounds, that's what we saw, right? So that's what we
Mm.
saw, that they couldn't even get in. Good thing about that is they bounced back towards that third round. It was a turnaround, and it was a win here by Exekis. So
Ex-
I guess it's really more about the combination of the utility trying to go in towards that side, maybe playing together, controlling the flank, that duo of that Jet and that Raze to
Mm.
stop them.
Exactly, right? It's that's what Couldn't Care Less has. And in fact, an interesting thing right now is the fact that Sway, the race player, has bought up an operator. She's looking down in towards B lobby, and I don't know how successful she will be, but it's still a very deadly weapon and it's very useful for locking down angles. So this is where Komorebi Hearts has to be extra careful. It's not safe for them to peek in towards mid.
And that's gonna be scary now. So they're all grouped up here towards this B site. They're just waiting. They're lobbying at the moment. They're just waiting for maybe an aggressive push here from the team of Couldn't Care Less. But right now, at least they've denied that information, and that run it back will just trigger all of these swarm
Uh-oh.
grenades. But that's gonna be a waste of an ult
My
because
God.
they didn't even get any entry.
That was a swarm grenade plus gravity well combo. Extremely well timed by Couldn't Care Less, but regardless, they're still going to try to go in for this. We see the blast packs coming out, but not a single player has made it past. It really is. You shall not pass. Catharsis, Jaded, every single one on the site itself. Komorebi Hearts were not able to secure a safe passage on towards the B site, no matter what they tried.
Yeah, now they're forced to save. I mean, half buy for Exekis, that's going to at least matter. But what they need really now is that combination of the utilities and that duos that we would want to see. Now, Sway here, another Gandalf play with that operator, right? They're not afraid to try and get those early pickoffs as Sway, as the rest of the team members. I mean, B is quite passive with that
Hmm.
Sova, but here in A, it's going to be a bloodbath now, as El Wu actually sees and peeks out. Execuise is now down, and now El is going to follow up with another. And there's going to be just really Cass exiting. She doesn't want to die just yet because the spike has to rotate towards the B side. So
And
Lolita,
chucking a paint shell. At this point, it's all too telegraphed for Couldn't Care Less. They know because of this aggression coming in towards A main, there's no other place for Komorebi Hearts to be other than the B site. And we see all the rotating members coming in towards market, maybe in towards B lobby. And unless Cass is able to pick off the player at the back, I don't see how Komorebi Hearts will be able to secure anything. She tries to go for it, but unfortunately she gets taken out. Cairo, now Cass, Catharsis just going for that quick double kill, 4-1. And Komorebi Hearts just basically cornered.
yeah, and now they're pulling out the big guns. I mean, the Sova of Couldn't Care Less has an Odin and B, And then in A, if you peek, you can get shot by Sway's operator. So I think now this is the chance for them to try and go mid. They haven't done so just yet. Maybe smoking out Cubby where the operator is,
Hmm.
and then maybe just running past that alarm bot and getting those kills. Because right now they haven't done that just yet,
Oh
and that's
no.
gonna be now again the Gandalf play here by Sway, getting one with the operator. She's not afraid to get another strawberry bagel. She knows that the raise is still gonna be there, and instantly I think that's a good decision there by Sway to just back away. And now Exeki's spotted out that jet, but she's not tagged at all. So now they're just holding down their ground. They're afraid to go in, but now they still have that curveball, so that's possible. But everybody else is just jiggle peeking. They're not
Oh
giving it away, and
no.
LU already gets one for herself, and that's gonna be Strawberry Bagel. He's getting that trade.
There's a little bit of trade, but I don't know if it's gonna be enough. I
Yeah.
mean, Strawberry Bagel, not the healthiest. At the same time, you got the Catharsis basically holding an off angle from Garden. If they try to push past A main, there are so many different angles to look out for, and all
Mhm.
she's got is, hot hands, one curveball. I
30
don't know if
seconds
that's going to
left.
be able to blind every single player on the site itself. Mythica, who is the Sova player, is just
Mhm.
waiting for any movement coming in towards A main. So right now they're thinking of rotating, but I don't think they've got enough time. In fact, as soon as they peek out, like a little bit of a prairie dog, Sway is going to hunt them down with the operator.
10
It
seconds
bites. And all that's left are these two players trying to make their way in. No time to plant as well. And they're going to be met with so much gunfire. Actually able to take the Sova down, but the Odin will be retrieved for the next round.
Yeah, it's important. I mean, how much creds are you willing to waste? But right now, they're able to waste a lot because their economy is very, very healthy at the moment. And now there's a timeout. Komorebi needs to rethink their strategies. They've lost 3 rounds in a row already against Couldn't Care Less. They need to be able to try and get into that site. They've tried going B. It's the Killjoy that meets them. It's the Gandalf utility. But when it comes to A, the Gandalf is the operator. So I guess they just really have to pick a site, maybe rush
Mm,
in, because a lot of the things that happen now for Komorebi Hearts is once a woman is down on their team, they just stop. They don't really get their advantage. Of course, an operator has to either repeak or back away. So if and when the repeak happens, then maybe just be ready for that trade. Or if they back away, catch them off guard.
mm,
But that duo as well, I mean, saving grace of Sway's operator is LU. Especially now that every time that Sway would get a kill, uh, Elle would always be there to have her back. So that's going to be the saving grace of Sway here, even if she gets punished for those aggressive peaks.
truly, right? I mean, that is the saving grace. That is how CCL plays thus far. I mean, take a look at their mini map right now. It's exactly what you said. We got LU somewhat positioned up towards the front. We got Sway at the back with the operator. If anything happens, one of these two girls will be able to help the other out. So they're going to have to back off because of the boombot for now, but Komorebi Hearts, without any resistance in towards mid, they're going to be able to push deeply for a second. And I only say a second because as soon as that happens, one player drops towards B main, and now they're a little bit more afraid, but the Guardian will bite Catharsis. They're looking to push past this, but they have to get through Eluwu, and Cass will be the one to help them out in that process. Still, though, it's not going to be enough because numbers advantage still on the side of Couldn't Care Less, and at the same time, Cass's HP is down in the red. So how do they make a play at this point?
Yeah, if they do rotate towards A, that's going to be swarm grenades
Oh
just
man.
casted under Cass, and she's low as it is right now. So now they have to rotate towards the A side because they've tried, they've lost a lot of people in mid as well. So once that turret
30 seconds
signals
Oh
the
no.
Killjoy jaded here in this A site, and that's gonna be, and the door is closed, so there's
Oh
no
no.
way in. They just have to go up heaven. But if they do, there's going to be that turret, and also that signal that they're here towards A. And now Jaded, actually the
Oh my
threat
gosh.
isn't in heaven, but Jaded is given that cue. And now that's going to be
Whoa!
the timing of a peak Jaded gets to already with that patience game. She just waited and patience paid off for her.
That is incredibly satisfying to watch. Yes, I was a little bit debated because of the turret placement as well. I thought it was on Heaven, but no. She just held it over by the bottom of Hell, played off of her turret's contact, and that's something that most Killjoy players would do. But the way that she held the angle, the way that she converted her spray is just magical. It's very satisfying. It's like waiting for that champagne cork to pop off. She had all that utility, so comfortable on the A side. In fact, she's still on A now. I don't know how Komorebi Hearts can get through this. If they can actually take Jada down somehow, then her utility would be disabled. But she's so far back that I don't know how they'll be able to find a shot.
Well, no shots will be taken because it's just really couldn't care less giving them the site and just choosing to retake it because they have that Hunter's Fury, they have that lockdown available for them. So this is going to be a very, very interesting retake. There's going to be that Hunter's Fury prepped up now, and Exekis is gonna get jaded already. But Catharsis here towards Heaven already gets two, and this lockdown is giving them so much space, and they know
Oh no!
that, oh no, that was just timing for them. They wanted to destroy the lockdown, but the space was taken away from them because they were detained. And now Sova, what does she do? She doesn't really know that Cairo is behind with that operator, and that's now a win for Komorebi Hearts.
That is the win. That is the answer that they were looking for. It turns out all they needed to do was to use two ultimates. First off, the lockdown, definitely. But secondly, we have that showstopper coming in from the Rays player as well. I mean, she was the one to start things off. She was the one to blast pack on the site, Lolita. And it created a lot of space for Komorebi Hearts. Couldn't care less. As soon as they heard those voice lines, those voice cues, they backed off completely, gave them the room to get the spike down, and I think that it would have been possible if Catharsis actually didn't get detained, if she was somewhere out towards the edge of that lockdown instead. But still, a very well played effort from Komorebi Hearts. This time around, though, back in towards B, back in towards mid. What do you think they're trying to do here?
Well, I think they're just waiting out for any aggression, but couldn't care less isn't the type of team to be really doing this. But look at this. Ooh, the combination of that Recon Bolt and an Odin will always pay off for a Sova main. And that's gonna be the run it back now by Strawberry Bagel. They're trying to enter towards this B site, but that's gonna expire any minute now, and L Uwu is gonna shut it down. And now L, she knows that there's somebody who entered. One kill for her, but a trade by Cairo, and Jaded got another one just towards Boathouse. And look at this, at least Exekis already gets one already, but she needs 3 more to get this win. The spike is nowhere near her. The spike is just laying down there towards the stairs, but there are 3 people guarding it. So once she does play contact, if she doesn't really isolate the duels, then this is going to be scary for her, and Catharsis will win this out for the team. It's a 7-2 now for the team of Couldn't Care Less.
Even with the sort of somewhat of a dual isolation, right? I mean, she was just going in for that 1v1 against Catharsis, but because Catharsis was up over by the top on the other side of logs, there's that little bit of vertical crosshair displacement, and it made it all that much more difficult for the Komorebi Hearts player to be able to secure the kill. Very, very unfortunate, but well played by Couldn't Care Less. In fact, right now, they're switching things up again. Take a look at your mini-map. It's Jaden, and she's back on B.
Well, this is the rotations at least as well for the defending team. It catches Komorebi Hearts off guard because it seems like they just really want to get off of Sway's feet right now, but everywhere that they go, Sway is gonna be there to greet them with paint shells, with a boombot, so it's gonna be scary. So now they're slowing down, but the slowdown is gonna be stopped here by Sway. Another kill for her, and now this is going to be a punishment for that Sova. Because that's going to be Lolita getting that kill against her. So it's a 4v4 right now. They're trying to break the doors. But where else can they go? At least there's a smoke out there for those who want to cross safely. But this is going to be a regroup now for the team of Couldn't Care Less towards this B site. Because they have nowhere else to go. But there's going to be Jaded here. Just waiting off again. And is it going to be another patience play by Jaded here? Catharsis is just waiting for people to cross. Sees two, gets one, and Jaded gets one for her own. Exekis gets that trade, but will there be a successful spike plant? The answer is no, because Catharsis shuts her down. And Kairo, 1 HP, and a very, very big dream here to get this spike down. But she doesn't really know where the Astra is.
Oh,
She
man.
needs to be able to look at the stairs, and this is just going to be all about timing.
It has to be, right? 1 HP, no chance at all. Kat knew that she had the advantage in this situation and just let her get away with it. In fact, because the spike was not planted, because she held on to her Vandal, she doesn't get the round loss bonus. So yeah, you get to hold on to your Vandal for the round, but what can you do with that? You're the only player with that little bit of firepower. Meanwhile, Couldn't Care Less have been chaining rounds back to back again and again, and they have their complete arsenal just ready to destroy.
I think that's not going to be enough. I mean, a Vandal can make magic for them, yes, but the rest of the team members, right now, Lolita is in a classic. That's not going to be enough against the guns of Sway there waiting for them. So they're just going to back out. I mean, in terms of the minimap, Jaded is just waiting here. Again with that, that Odin, but
Oh.
Kairo is gonna catch that again. I mentioned that the Vandal can be magic for them. That's going to be a gun retrieved, at least maybe for Lolita here, who only has the classic with Catharsis. They know that she's actually they're grouped up towards that smoke, but they haven't really made an entry towards the A site just yet. And now Sway spots out Strawberry Bagel, and now this push again. Kairo is just seems to be just punishing those who are lurking towards mid, and that's really her role right now. But looking at the attacking team, they just really want to pincer them out of their positions, and Kairo gets a fourth already. Will she be able to get the ace? But no, not necessarily, because Lolita gets that kill. I mean, that was a save round, and it was successful. So now that they have the buy round, will they be able to continue the momentum?
Certainly, it's not as impossible as before, right? Off that one win, it was a safe round. They had one Vandal, but they really knew how to make it work. They were playing, I guess, a little bit more patiently in towards mid, and that is where I really love the utility of the Sova players, because they're actually able to flush certain players out of position thanks to the recon bolt. Eluwu, she wanted to make some magic happen with the operator, but this time around it's going to be Kairo just in towards mid. A little bit of counter firepower in towards Couldn't Care Less, and now the lockdown comes in. It's going to be the full site execute. Catharsis has no choice but to back out. They managed to destroy the lockdown with the Hunter's Fury, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. The site is already secure, and they're setting up their post-plant positions.
Yeah, in terms of the post-plant, they're set up for these crossfires to really just defend the spike. But El Uwu is gonna strike back with those skills, and Catharsis already gets two with this retake. Nobody's there towards Hell, but El checks it anyway, and Komorebi Kairo is spotted out by that dart. And what can they do? Exekis is defending the spike from behind the wall, but Kairo gets 3 already, and with the timing of that shock dart, she just really wanted to stop the one who was defusing the spike, but that wasn't enough. Eluwu, again, the saving grace for the team of Couldn't Care Less, wins them that, and that's already a 6-round deficit in this first half.
This is so unfortunate. They had everything in place. The stars, the planets aligned. They used their ultimates to get onto site. But even with the spike planted, unfortunately for them, Catharsis had the perfect perfect cosmic divide just to block things off. Kara tried what she could, but because she was basically alone, it's just not going to be enough. So, like you said, I mean, LU, she has been the player to really trade things back, to help Couldn't Care Less members out. Anytime someone falls, she's there to back them up. And even if not, she has an operator sometimes in her hands, and that is very effective at controlling some space. I mean, you're afraid to repeat that, but here we go, second half now, and this time Couldn't Care Less on the offensive. They're pushing already in towards B, in towards market, and they're looking to make a B split happen.
Yeah, nobody's guarding the B site, but they're just, the team of Couldn't Care Less are just making sure that nobody's here. There's no Gandalf in the B site, so there is going to be that successful spike plant, and they're just waiting it out. The team of Komorebi, they're just patiently waiting and regrouping, but Catharsis here is going to be that distraction towards mid. Trades it off, now down to a 3v3. Cass here, together with her teammates, they're just gonna use that paranoia to get that space. But no, there's going to be that peak from Sova in terms of another distraction. I mean, this retake is going slowly but surely, but the team of Komorebi, they want to secure this one. But Sway coming from the boathouse again, it's now down to 1v1, but Cairo manages to get in that classic kill against a ghost. Sometimes a classic is just really more powerful.
Especially at that range, classic
Yeah.
over the ghost, 100%. Just right clicks, and you'll be able to secure the kill. This is incredible stuff coming in from Komorebi Hearts. It's a little bit strange, I have to say, because like you mentioned earlier, no Gandalf on the B site. In fact,
Yeah.
they just, I guess Cairo became Sauron. She went in with the classic. They made the retakes happen. They managed to trade any single player that fell, and when it came down to it, it just became a play of like getting to figure out your opponent's positioning and securing those frags.
And it just really was a beautiful retake for the team of Komorebi. Can they be able to sustain this now going into this bonus spy for them? At least Wu actually gets a kill already, and that's going to be just the timing not right for Komorebi Hearts as Strawberry Bagel falls down to that 4-woman rush towards the site. And now that's going to be the spike retrieved and the spike safely planted for now. But it's going to be a retake here. Exequies has the gun, but some of the members of Couldn't Care Less have already picked up guns for themselves. That's going to be a beautiful dart there. Spots out the head, and Cairo here, even when they're woman down already, there's going to be that win for Komorebi Hearts, and now this is going to be maybe the start of a momentum, a start of a comeback for Komorebi Hearts.
Truly, oh my god, what a way to start a comeback. And I gotta say, Exequies with that little stylish movement and with her shock darts as well, and the Aries. If not for her, this round could have been very, very different. I mean, she did tag, I think was it LU underneath Hell down to basically 1 HP. And then just doing that little like fade away jumping off of heaven. It's incredibly fun stuff. But here we go. Yes, they managed to win the first 2 rounds. Are they going to be able to win this one, the bonus round? Now that Couldn't Care Less, they have their full weaponry, they have the Phantoms, and they're looking to start this off really aggressively in towards the A main.
And this is a similar thing that the team Couldn't Care Less was doing during the defense. They're just waiting it out. They're not aggressively peeking at the start of the round, but they do once they don't have enough information. That's going to be an execute towards this A site and those beautiful paint shells. If it weren't also for LU, maybe the paint shells could have gotten that omen, but right now Lolita is just waiting for that perfect moment for that flank, and she shuts down that Killjoy. Hero is going to be leading the charge in terms of this retake, but Sway already gets one already in this push. Lolita gets one, but is it gonna be enough? It's now down to a 2v2, and
Wow.
the thing that the Sova was low. Lolita was already down, but that trade, beautiful by Lolita. And again, as I mentioned, we're now down to a 3-round deficit. Earlier it was 6, but it was 3 rounds consecutively won by the Komorebi Hearts.
Definitely amazing stuff from Lolita back there. I mean, we're seeing it. Nice little camera angle from our observer as well. The fireworks to celebrate from Lolita, because the way that she's been utilizing her ability is really incredible stuff. I mean, maybe coming from Garden, it was a little bit tough to find an angle here or there, but she was using her paint shells to basically kind of flush players out of position, at the same time trading and playing off of her teammates' contact. She was able to secure the quadra and definitely the round as well. So right now, if you were in the shoes of Couldn't Care Less, something somewhere needs to change, because sometimes even though they're able to find opening picks and get onto sites, they're not able to secure it post-plant.
And in terms of the post plan, I mean, and their retakes are just really stopped here by the team of Komorebi Hearts, because how they're positioned um is really just, I mean, how Couldn't Care Less was playing, okay, the duos, the crossfires. This is how Komorebi Hearts are now defending the site. So it's going to be impossible, not unless the team of Couldn't Care Less, okay, they have the same strategy as we did earlier. How can we now counter this? Because that's going to be Catharsis getting that kill and Lolita getting that trade. But Sway here has that Marshall, uses the paint shells again to get that advantage. But timing here, perfect, beautiful paranoia there by that Omen, but Exekis gets that kill. It's gonna be a gun picked up, but Cairo here, timing of that showstopper. Nobody's gonna die from that because the door was closed, but Cairo, KV, up from heaven, just defended this site again in 4 consecutive rounds, Quack. This comeback is really gonna play well if they continue with these defending strats that they do.
That's right. I mean, 2 more rounds is all they need to equalize the board, and they're looking a lot more comfortable. I mean, Couldn't Care Less. They're a team that, it doesn't look like they like to sit still. They're always moving around. Sometimes Jaded is patient, but that's only when she's defending. On the attacking side, it's a little bit more difficult. She has to use her turret to maybe suss out some information somewhere. On the other hand, if we take a look at Komorebi Hearts, they don't peak. They don't push out that much. Not really. In fact, take a look at what we're seeing. We got the same setup on the B side, Sova plus Omen. Meanwhile, on A, it's same thing. Lolita all the way in towards Tree now, and she's just waiting for some push, waiting for some information, and then using utility to stall and delay them even further. And while all that happens, her teammate's there to rotate and back her up.
Yeah, but they haven't really chosen a site just yet, because the spike is all the way here in mid, but it seems like it's slowly rotating towards this A site, because they're gathered around here, the campfire of A, and they're just going to wait patiently and wait for that perfect moment to pounce and get control of that A site. But how they're grouped up now, I mean, the team of Komorebi, I think they just really want to give this A site away and then handle it through a retake, because in terms of the utility, we have the lockdown available for Cairo here at least. So the timing, I mean, here Mythica is looking for that opportunity, and this is going to be that cosmic divide placed down to try and stop anybody else from peeking. But that gravity well was just pulled by, I mean, that turret was just pulled by that gravity well. It was just funny.
Yeah, it kind of hurt them for a second, but thankfully they shot it down. But here we go. It's the retake process, and they're really adamant on just pushing past this, but there is an attacking lockdown in place as well. They're looking to stick the defuse, but unfortunately for them, Catharsis with the triple sprays takes them off the spike. All that's left is Exekis, and she has to come in all the way around from the back, and that is where the footsteps will be so audible that Jaded will just shut her down. Finally, the first round that Couldn't Care Less has gotten in the start of this second half.
Yeah, after 4 rounds of wins for Komorebi, finally Couldn't Care Less gets one, and maybe that was a win that could stop the momentum of Komorebi. I mean, it was almost down to evening it out to to a 9-9, but they just really had a wake up call. Okay, I think they're winning so much rounds, taking rounds away from us. So we have to get this win now. And in terms of their attacks, I think this is how they should be really playing the post plants. Maybe a little bit away from the spike and then just holding it down through the sprays as Catharsis did. Now it's going to be a B split, supposedly, but that's going to be a shutdown now for Kiro as she spots out the head of that Raze.
Yeah, Smoke came, I guess, a little bit late, and
Mhm.
she had the perfect pixel angle. Cairo able to secure the frag, and right now, I mean, down a player, it's gonna hurt. Couldn't care less because it makes it all that much more difficult if you're looking in terms of numbers. I mean, the trades won't be as strong now. In fact, they lose 2 more players in the process. All that's left are the players in towards B main, and that's something that Exekis has already figured out. Her recon vault got all that information, and Komorebi Hearts should know this. Still, though, I mean, look at the way that they're playing right now. Not budging at all. In fact, the only one that's going to receive them is Strawberry Bagel. She hears the footsteps, immediately drops the hot hands to stall them a little second further, get the rotations going in. She's hiding on the other side of the corner of the blaze. They didn't expect it. She peeks out, but Sova will be able to take her down. That's Mythica. She got traded off because of Cass. Spike goes down, but it's all up to Jaded. Sees the peek coming in from heaven, takes her down. That's a double now. All that's left is Exekis. She goes in for the spray, and she connects it into her headshot. Exekis saves the day for Komorebi Hearts.
Oh, well, that was just beautiful. A beautiful retake and quite a risky play there. Just pushing off towards tree to get that advantage of heaven. That heaven space is very, very important for the defenders, so they wanted to take it away from them. But of course, that aggression is punished here by the team of Komorebi. They already know how the team of CCL are playing, so they have a little bit of a read now on how they should be defending these sites. I mean, they're not giving them the early pickoff, which is good, because once they're man down, I mean, Komorebi does really crumble to pieces, but now they're playing together, they're saving each other from these trades, and this has been working well for the team of Komorebi.
It's looking really good. In fact, they're doing the same thing right now, just basically letting them run onto the site. Meanwhile, they'll just be able to play retakes. In fact, because they have the better guns, it's not going to be that difficult for them to secure this retake. But you gotta take into account the ultimates in hand. Couldn't care less, if I'm not wrong. Mythica has the Hunter Spear. That's why she's all the way over by A main. If they try to take the spike down, it's not going to be that easy. In fact, 2 players in towards Hell is a difficult angle to push in as well. But working off of the run it back, that's the Hunter Spear denied. All that's left, Jaded plus El Uwu, so far off the site. I don't think that lineup's going to land in time.
Ooh, yeah, it wasn't enough time to land that, and Karo does secure the kill already, and that was what the Hunter's Fury denied for couldn't care less in terms of that post plant, but they do have that lockdown now available for them to take maybe the B site, because that's where the lockdown is most effective. If you use it towards A, you have a little bit of space there towards heaven that people could hide out in, but right now it seems that they're grouped up towards this B site wherein they can use the lockdown, maybe a combination of that Hunter's Fury as well to push the players back. So I guess in terms of this attack, they do have a little bit of an advantage, but it really is down to how Komorebi will defend this.
It truly is. I mean, just going off of theories, you know, a lockdown gets placed, Exekis might be able to take those out. Maybe she's got shock dart lineups that can take those out instead of the Hunter's Fury. I mean, even if she doesn't, she's got the Hunter's Fury. In fact, some of the players on Komorebi Hearts are 1 or 2 points away from their ultimates. But the one thing that I'm really curious about is Sway. She's got her Showstopper. In fact, if she goes in with the full execute, Showstopper, satchels, she might be able to create so much space for her team and open things up. But coming out of B main, she immediately gets slapped down by K-Ro, something that she did not expect. So even though the ultimates were spent and the spike is being sent over onto A, this is going to be a difficult hold for Couldn't Care Less, the toughest hold of their lives. You got 5 players to look out for, and you only got 3 players to work with.
And Cass actually gets that kill against L, and now that Hunter's Free doesn't really catch somebody with Catharsis. Will, though, gets 3k for that round, but that's not going to be enough because that retake, they had a lot of casualties getting that B site in order to sell a fake. They were faked, but it wasn't enough because they only had 3 members. As you mentioned, this is going to be the hardest hold of their lives, but there was the Hunter's Fury used, doesn't really catch anybody else. So that was just really more of a waste for the team of Couldn't Care Less. So, I mean, how they are able now to buy out, it's not going to be enough for maybe a win. Are they going to give the lead now to Komorebi? Because the score is 10-10.
Exactly, and the momentum on the side of Komorebi Hearts as well. I don't know how Couldn't Care Less could possibly swing things back into their favor. They're trying to push up in towards A short now, but this is where Komorebi Hearts already has the perfect setup. But to start things off, really well played shots by LU with the Spectre, and then Sway to back her up. It's going to be that much more difficult as the rotations come in, though. Glass was broken, and immediately K-Ro is watching the angle. LU might have been able to sneak under Jenny, but I don't know if she knows that Cass is above. She's down to 45 HP as well. That means 2 bullets, and she's basically dead. So it all comes down to how well timed Komorebi Hearts' retake are.
And this is going to be a tricky thing because they're all grouped up in hell and Cass is just waiting and watching overhead. But, I mean, they were able to just exit and just push through and exit now towards maybe a rotate. What? They're double backing, and they're maybe getting K-Ro first to get this win already, but there's going to be 20 seconds left on the clock. It's a 2v2, but what they're doing now is just pincering here the person in heaven. There's going to be that trade at least for Jaded, but timing is everything. There's just 5 seconds left right now. Enough time for that plant, but is it time now? Is there enough time for the reposition? Lolita is just waiting it out because she now knows where the spike is planted, but she doesn't know where her opponent is right now. So now that's gonna be the spray for Lolita. She prevails, and now it's the lead for Komorebi Hearts, an 11-10.
That was absolutely incredible. It's almost... It's skilled, but it's also kind of lucky, right? I mean, when it comes down to a play like that, it's really 50-50. Jaded could have won that. Lolita could have won that as well, but I think Jaded was banking on the fact that Lolita has to drop. Maybe, just maybe, that would give her somewhat of an advantage, but unfortunately for Jaded, I guess her shots weren't able to connect, and Lolita had a little bit higher HP, so coming down to this is another 4 consecutive wins for Komorebi Hearts. They're feeling very, very confident. In fact, their setups are changing once more. I just, what's the possible answer for Couldn't Care Less? They haven't been able to secure rounds comfortably at all in this attacking side.
They've tried mid, but that cheeky angle just really stops them. It all boils down to a perfectly executed smoke for them to try and get mid, but those paint shells is not gonna get anybody just yet, but at least the boombot spots here. L is gonna fight for her life as there will be a showstopper here by Lolita, but 2 kills already for the team of Couldn't Care Less as they try and enter towards this B site. That's going to be a free plant now because nobody else is defending this B site, and that is just a beautiful cosmic divide here. It's gonna delay things, at least in terms of those 2 who are the ones near the spike, because a lot of them are away, but that strawberry bagel punishing that person who is staying back of that wall. So this is going to be a retake now for Komorebi Hearts. Way has tagged up somebody in that B side. Pero right now, Exekeys is gonna get that kill as well. She's down, and this is going to be a retake of their lives, and it's going to be a successful one to say the least, because Komorebi already gets match point after this defuse. Wow. After what? 6 rounds of, I mean, a 6-round deficit in the first half, we're now down to match point. Komorebi are doing well in terms of their defenses, and their retakes executed perfectly.
Just 100% absolutely perfect. Couldn't care less. Are unable to secure the sites at all. I mean, throw in a Cosmic Divide, throw in a 2-player hold from Boathouse, and they still can't do it because Komorebi Hearts are just that good. They get the opening picks, they have the numbers advantage, they go in together as a team, they use the curveballs, everything that they've got at their disposal, and they're able to win out in these duels. Couldn't care less are just not able to secure it at all. So now coming back into it again, they try another answer, and this time it's in towards A with a split push, but they're already met with quite a bit of resistance. They want to push past the door, but they got to deal with Lolita as well as Strawberry Bagel trying to push past the smoke. It's going to be Lolita who meets them. The trades come in, and of course, a lockdown getting placed down underneath Generator. It buys them a little bit of time, but I ask you, how much can this possibly do?
Well, it does give them that space. It does buy them that time. And the good thing about this is that was the run it back wasted already just to try and hold on to dear life. But right now, this is going to be a retake of Komorebi. Will this now be a win for them? Mythica is just holding down her ground in this A site while the 2 members are set up for their crossfires, and that's Kiro with 1 kill already, and now the lockdown is in place. Is it gonna be a spray down? It is, and now Komorebi Hearts get map number 1 of Ascent. It was such a beautiful comeback. As soon as they won that pistol round, they were able to get through that series of losses that they encountered during the first half.
Oh
Wow.
my god. Remind me again, wait, what was the score at the end of the first half? Wasn't it something like 9-3? They managed to come back all the way, and I guess this is where you gotta think, is 1 week really enough to prepare for Couldn't Care Less? Yes, they made it through group stages, but now against a team like Komorebi Hearts, even on a map like Ascent, which I guess both teams are quite experienced on, it's not the easiest thing to do. That said, though, they did look pretty comfortable on the defending side, and in fact, take a look at the scoreboard. Most of their players are, getting quite a number of frags. It only came down to the fact that their attacking strategies just weren't quite there.
Yeah. And looking at the scoreboard, Kiro has 30 kills. She dropped that 30 for this round. I mean, it just really proves how powerful a Killjoy can be. I mean, even during their attacking rounds, she seems to be the one holding the ground for the team. But it's well balanced for the team of CCL. The good thing about this is the teamwork for Komorebi during the defense really got them that win, helped them secure map number 1. And how much assistance also Mythica was able to give. Looking at how many assists she has 14 assists. So it just really means that the use of the utilities for CCL was spot on. It's just that it came down to how are they going to shut down the crossfires of Komorebi, the Gandalf plays of Kiro there in the A site. So that wasn't really answered during that map of Ascent, but maybe there's going to be an answer for them now in the next match.
Hopefully it will, because the next map is going to be none other than Split. However, that is Komorebi's map pick, so I don't know how comfortable Couldn't Care Less can be on Split, but they need to be able to pull off a win. If not, they get sent into the lower brackets where, I don't know, maybe that's what they kind of want as well, because they're separated from their sister, well, I guess sort of sister team, Couldn't Care Less, Asteria. Maybe that's what they're going for, but regardless, this shows that, Komorebi Hearts whatever you want to say about them, maybe they came from the lower brackets. They're a team from the Philippines as well. They've got so many different things, maybe not so well on the attacking side again, but when it comes down to it, when it comes down to defense, they are able to pull off this huge comeback, and couldn't care less. I don't know. I think it's time to maybe do a little bit more preparation, right? They need some kind of an execute or something that actually secures them wins on the attacking side, because the one round that they actually were able to win on attack was when they went in with those blast pack plays, when they went in like just full rush, full Hail Mary in towards the B site. If not for that, then I don't know what else they got. But next map, Split. I don't know. Any thoughts before we go for a break?
Well, this is actually one of the favorite maps of Komorebi Hearts. They've always won in maps of Ascent and Bind and Split. And I think they do want to secure this map already, because the third map, the decider, if ever, will be the map of Haven, and they haven't really won a map of Haven thus far. So I think they're so excited to finish things through, make it this a 2-0. But again, there is still CCL maybe gaining that ground for them. This might be your map pick, but this is our map win. That might be also their defense.
Very, very possible. This could be a potential Komorebi 2-0, but who knows what will happen. We just have to wait and see. So, people at home, when you're watching, do not go away. We'll just be going for a quick break. But after this, it's going to be Split. It's going to be Komorebi Hearts versus Couldn't Care Less. Is it going to be a 2-0? We'll see. But after this, it's going to be Split. And welcome back, folks, to the FSL Valorant Circuit, FSL Valorant Wildcard, VCT Game Changers Southeast Asia. This is map number 2 of Couldn't Care Less versus Komorebi Hearts. I'm your caster, Hamquack, and with me is the Donut. What do you have to say about this next map, which is, like we said earlier on, it's going to be split.
I mean, with all of the tight corners here in terms of the picks now, I mean, given the performance of Kiro earlier, for sure she'll be picking up that Killjoy again for this one, or maybe opting for that Sage as a resident sentinel of this map of Split. But again, this is the pick of the team of Komorebi Hearts, so they might be able to secure this down to a 2-0. But couldn't care less be giving that away for free. Of course not. They have to put up a fight. And in terms of their defense, it was beautiful. But it was just really a turnaround for the team of Komorebi Hearts when they won that pistol round. It was just a domino effect. They got that win. Okay, they had that positive mental state that they could be able to get this win, and what, a series of rounds, 4 rounds, and then a loss, just one, but then a third one again. So I guess that's all. It all boils down to the momentum of the team, because I think both of these teams are momentum based, and given how the scoreline is really shown, a win and then after another consecutive ones. Then how about you? What do you think?
I have to agree. All right? Like, it's really momentum based for them. When they start to chain rounds together, then they get the hot hands. They feel really comfortable. They feel confident to go for these peaks. I mean, that's what we see from Couldn't Care Less when they started out on the attack. Even if they're defending, they still love to go for those pushes and using paint shells, using their utility, like we saw at the end of the scoreboard. They had so many assists. They had so many usage out of their abilities, and it really helps them to control the game. But on towards the attacking side, and then you got Komorebi defending, that's when those girls start to feel more comfortable, because they were able to win rounds back to back. First things off, the pistol, and it was a really close one. If you remember, it came down to Cairo to really close it out for her team. And then they were able to chain those rounds back to back. They got the momentum going, and when they're confident, they don't really push that much, but they're able to land their shots very, very accurately. I mean, we got to remember that one angle that I believe it was Cairo who had from her own defender spawn in towards market. A lot of these different setups that they had, especially in towards garden as well. All these different plays came into effect for Komorebi Hearts. So it's a little bit of that momentum, a little bit of confidence, but you start to see that slight difference, right? Couldn't Care Less. They seem like they just can't sit still. They love to push. They need to find something. And once they get in towards the site, they get the spike down, the defense just seems to fizzle out. But on their defending side, when they push out, they get those wins. So I don't know how they're going to be able to adjust in towards a map like Split, but it's something that they really need to look into.
Yeah, I definitely agree, because how Komorebi Hearts would usually play, especially during that defense, um, those crossfires, always, and them just playing back, playing contact once they have information. That was a smart move for them in terms of their defense. And for a map like Split, especially, you have lots of corners to check. Then, I mean, you really have to be checking those corners, looking left and right, because there might be a crossfire that are set up for the team of Komorebi Hearts, right? And it's also down to how they level it out in terms of their duels, because initially, during their attack, Komorebi wasn't really winning those duels, most of the duels that they've seen. I mean, looking at the scoreboard, it was Cairo on top, but the rest of the team members of CCL just right below her. So
Exactly.
I guess that's all gonna come down to how they would win the duels, and Couldn't Care Less. They seem to be on point in terms of winning those. I think it just boiled down to the indecisiveness in terms of selecting a site and executing their strategies. And for a map like Split, if you're starting out on attack, then that's gonna be a little bit shaky. Sometimes a lot of the teams would just say, okay, let's just maybe attack first, and then we'll just really run them down during the defense, because it's easier to defend Split. That's going to be the theory overall, but it all boils down to like who really will be the ones attacking first.
Exactly, and let's take a look because the ones who are attacking first is going to be none other than CCL. So it doesn't really bode too well for those girls, but I still want to believe because okay, let's just kind of make some theories for a second, right? Of course, Cairo performing exceptionally well as the Killjoy. I could see her locking down a site like B on split all on her own. I mean, turrets, you got the nanoswarm, you got the alarm bot. She could just place them somewhere and basically back off completely. Hold it from somewhere like maybe B heaven, maybe somewhere towards the back of side behind the pillars, and just if she senses danger, she could go back into its spawn to its stairs and then come in from heaven. But at the same time, if you do something like that, yes, you got all that killjoy utility, but if and this is a big if couldn't care less were that decisive, they go in with a huge aggressive play. Like, I don't know if they're going to go with Jet this time, but we've seen Sway on the Rays, and she could go for plays with the double satchel, right? And that could allow them entry onto the B site. And once they get that, they're able to lock it down. It becomes that much more difficult for Komorebi Hearts to potentially, I guess, retake. You might have someone satcheling out of garage, but then you could also have players push out towards mid and make it a huge B split. It could be difficult for Komorebi Hearts to defend here, but then again, it's just a theory. I mean, I'm a quack, so I don't know. Komorebi Hearts could have a lot more contingency plans in place aside from just a Killjoy.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, having maybe the combination of a Sage and a Killjoy locking down the B site, like walling off the B, I mean, towards B heaven, right? If you have a wall there and then you have all of the Killjoy utilities really invested towards B main, it's probably impenetrable. And then everybody else can just really play around the duels towards that A main part of the map. So I guess that's a little bit of a flexibility in terms of how they play, but how they would usually execute the defense. They just don't want to stick to the sites that they would usually own, right? So we saw Cairo and as well as the Killjoy of Couldn't Care Less really just mixing it up in terms of their in terms of the utilities. So it's really quite hard and unpredictable now for whoever's attacking, where their utilities are at. So it's not necessarily um these unpredictability that we will be looking at now. And looking at the draft for the map of split, as I mentioned, there's always going to be a Sage and a Killjoy combination for them. And for the rest of the team members of CCL, are we seeing a breach now? This is exciting.
I know, right? It's something that I wasn't quite. I mean, we were talking about unexpected things. A breach is not is definitely unexpected. Your predictions for Komorebi Hearts were basically 100% accurate because we do see the Killjoy, we see the Sage, we see Strawberry Bagel and Reina this time instead of Phoenix. But on the other side, couldn't care less. I don't know what they're thinking, but this is going to be a very, very interesting one. In fact, if I'm not wrong, they brought out one of their subs in for this game, and hopefully, I think they were suffering some connection issues as well. Maybe that will balance things out a little bit. But yeah, Astra Viper combo, you got the breach as well, and then 2 Sentinels, 0 duelists. Is this the play, Donut? Will this work out for them?
Well, they have the breach to try and displace the members, but without really that entry for the team, I don't really know how they can execute these attacks. But they might have something up their sleeves now as they try to go towards this mid part of the site. Because I think mid control is very important in this map, so they chose to have that breach. So, but without a jet dash to try and convert those flashpoints to a kill, I think this is gonna be quite shaky for the team of CCL.
I want to agree, but I still want to try and believe and see what they have in store because they must have picked this for a reason. Okay, flashpoint in towards mailroom to kind of maybe give off some false information. But look at this, Komorebi Hearts again. They don't budge. They sense all of that danger, but they just stay put. The right clicks connect, and we got Lolita plus Strawberry Bagel to find a couple more kills, and then Lolita to secure the final one on towards Catharsis. No matter what Couldn't Care Less throws at them, they are not afraid. They are that confident right now that you have Cairo still holding over by A Heaven. You got Lolita just coming in towards A Ramp. It's just they're not shaken.
Yeah, they're not yet. I'm not. They're not at all. We haven't seen the beauty of this pick just yet because that was just a pistol round. Maybe we'll see an execute towards the third round when they already have the guns out for them. But right now, this is really tight mid control for the team of Komorebi Hearts as they have walled off mid already since they do have just those pistols. Of course, this is gonna take a little while for them to break it, but in terms of the push now, it's gonna be a P-split looking where they are at the map.
Yeah, interestingly enough, I mean, you had the wall up, but she immediately backed off and she stuck together with her teammate, that Strawberry Bagel, in towards B Heaven now. Meanwhile, Couldn't Care Less, they're trying to find whatever they can, but it's not easy at all. We have El Uwu pushing in towards past Mailroom, where she gets taken out by the Spectres. In towards Garage as well. I mean, we got Mythica trying to push past this in towards B. She's basically under Heaven, under Rafters, but is that going to actually be enough? Her teammate drops, and then what is she going to do?
Yeah, Mythica, she managed to sneak her way in towards this site, but that's not gonna get... I mean, Sway already gets a kill as that Viper, but this flashpoint so beautiful to try and give them time for that plant. But right now, Hero is gonna rush in, maybe get that kill already. Even though they had the Spectres, they were just unstoppable against Hero's Ghost. And the rest of the team members of Komorebi, very healthy by going on to the next because they can just really pass up for this bonus, maybe give a ghost or a pistol to the fallen sage over here, Exekis. So this is gonna be now shaky for them given that phantoms and vandals have been prepared now by the team of CCL.
Then again, though, it seems like Komorebi Hearts are just a little bit more comfortable. Yeah, they got the Fallen player. They do have quite a bit of economy. So, I mean, then again, even if they lose this round, it's not the worst thing in the world. Couldn't care less in the background. They just wanted to go in for that spike plant. So I think everyone's happy for the time being. But now into third. They're going in towards mid this time. It's mailroom that gets walled off, or well, the Heaven. So there's quite a bit of freedom for Couldn't Care Less. Question is, what are they looking to do exactly?
Well, there's a smoke now covering, so that freedom is just given to them. But if they do rotate towards A Heaven, they will be greeted by a lot of Killjoy's utility. So they have to be careful about this. And looking at how they're pushing, maybe a flashpoint now will displace Strawberry Bagel. They have to be careful because she's just holding this top angle. She is able to get one and Exekis there with another, even though she just has that frenzy.
I am not quite sure what I just witnessed, but she managed to get away. We have the frenzy kill as well, but finally some sense of normalcy. We have the frags coming in. We have Mythica trying to block them off with her fault line. It doesn't quite connect that much, though, as Cass pushes up front along with Lolita. They make it a trade, and now we're down to this 1v1. Furantic, the player all on her own by Garage. She has the firepower, and she will be able to secure Cass. And there it is, the bonus round denied for Komorebi Hearts.
Yeah, while it was denied, that's still very costly for the team of CCL. Like going into this round, they may have won it, but they lost in terms of the economy because now they just have at least phantoms and vandals for them to use, but some of them might be short in terms of the utility, as some have already bought up half armor only. So that's gonna be a tricky thing right now. But in terms of that bonus, Komorebi able to buy up now. So this is going to be a little bit of aggression now towards A main to get and secure that orb. But again, it's always going to be mid control because their lineup is really fit for mid control.
Absolutely fit. I mean, you got the wall, but instantly a panel gets taken off, and they have the option to, maybe try to flush someone out with the snake bite, maybe use a gravity well. If not, maybe the breach could be there to allow them to push past the slow orbs once it dissipates. But here we go, executes. They're looking a lot more decisive now in towards the B site. Rolling Thunder doesn't connect onto anyone though, and in fact, it really looks like Komorebi Hearts just want to let them get the spike planted. Meanwhile, they're going to set up for retakes. They take Catharsis down by mid, and that is a great start in for this.
And looking at this retake, there's still 5 healthy now. And now Lolita is just charging through. She just doesn't really check the corner. And now Mythica actually just punishes that one. But Strawberry Bagel able to redeem her fallen comrade. And this is going to be a retake of a lifetime here. And Kero was able to get that kill, that fast peaks, and now it's gonna be Kero winning that duel. She just was out for that hunt, and that is the spike already halved, so she does have time, and it's a 3-1.
Came pretty close, but unfortunately for Sway, Kero was just a little bit quicker, a little bit sharper, and it might also have been down to a little bit of ping difference, but whatever it was, Couldn't Care Less had that interesting post-plant setup. I'm not sure if you caught, but the El Uwu's wall was one that allowed her to come up with a kind of a pseudo double stack setup. Unfortunately, though, it still just wasn't enough because Komorebi Hearts are that comfortable. They had their utilities, they went in for it, secured the backside, and then all they had to do was to secure the gunfights in towards Garage. They knew where they were, and that's why they were able to find all of those frags. But now, whatever it is, in towards round number 5, you got the same setup from Komorebi Hearts, and they are still not moving at all. I mean, Couldn't Care Less. I don't know if they're thinking of that counter wall boost, but once they get popped up, it's just going to be an easy shot for Strawberry Bagel as well as Exekeys.
Yeah, and it's funny how they always would want to give B main instead of Heaven. So this wall is going to expire any minute now, and that's going to be the execute of the team of CCL with that breach. So they're just walking in, and Strawberry Bagel gets that kill, and that's going to be a dismiss, and the Empress now online. She spots out here. Firantic is down, and that's an instant rotation towards this ace site, and that's only Cass here guarding it, and that's gonna be a dual one by Cass, a trade there by Catharsis, but is that going to be enough? It's not, because Kero will finish things off. It's a 4-1 now. Again, 2 straight rounds in terms of Komorebi. It's going to be momentum again back in their favor.
I know, right? I mean, they're winning these rounds. They're reading Couldn't Care Less so well. I mean, whatever it is that they throw at them, we're starting to see a repeat in what we saw from Ascent. Komorebi Hearts on the defending side, they're not moving at all. They're very confident about what they have, what their potential abilities are, that they just stay put. You got the setups, you got the walls, and even if they try to push past it, you got Strawberry Bagel to find a couple of frags, immediately popping the Empress. And at the same time, Exekeys is there to just swing off of her contact to back her up. This time around, Couldn't Care Less with the firepower. They're looking to push a little bit more decisively in towards A Heaven. It's been smoked off, but look at what's happening on the minimap. Already, the players are rotating in towards screen. So even if they break down, drop off of A Heaven, they need to deal with 2 more players before they are able to secure the site. In fact, lockdown getting deployed, they're trying to push into it, and that's where the spray down from Strawberry Bagel will be able to take them down. El Uwu trying to have a spray down of her own as well. She picks up a double, and that is a little bit more trouble for Couldn't Care Less. They're going in for this, and it's going to be Strawberry Bagel from the back. She gets the overheal, and right now it's just a matter of time before the full retake comes in.
And there's that res from Komorebi, now down to a 4v2. They still also have that showstopper, and she's gonna be
Uh-oh.
crawling her way in. She doesn't get that kill. Ferrantic gets one for herself. Exekis though gets another, and Cairo is always going to be that finisher for the team, and it's now a 5-1. They're getting their momentum and they're getting the points here and there. Again, Komorebi couldn't care less. They need to be a little bit careful. They were decisive where they would want to push, but the execute wasn't really as clean because they just walked through their own smoke and they were just denied entry by Strawberry Bagel.
Exactly. It's it's so difficult. They might have secured passage onto the site, but it seems like that's exactly what Komorebi Hearts wants them to do. The fact that they're playing so far back, so defensively, is to really welcome Couldn't Care Less onto the site, right? They're just playing retakes. Almost every single one of these round wins are retake wins from Komorebi Hearts. So I think coming into this now, this is where Couldn't Care Less need to bait out a little bit more utility from Komorebi Hearts. Take some of these fights before they get the spike down, because the retakes have been the difficult thing for Couldn't Care Less. In fact, this is a great start, already taking 2 players down now. They're continuing on with this momentum. It's going to be Sway who backs up and gets the trade for a teammate, and then they get the spike down, plus the Viper's Pit. How do you retake this now, Komorebi Hearts?
Well, you still have that Reyna, and that's going to be a kill for her, at least. Perfect timing for that peek. They were caught off guard, but there is a mountain of doom here right now. But Cairo is gonna spot out Sway. Sway will get that kill. At least Sway is very low. Catharsis as well. So there is a possibility for Strawberry Bagel to get this, as long as she gets one to bait out that peek. This is scary if they only see what we see now. At least that was a kill for her from behind, and she knows now where the player is, so Sway will just back off. They need the time. They need enough time for this defuse, and she's gonna just get that spray, but Sway will not back away. She just chooses to get that kill. Wow.
Man. Sway, she's got eyes in her veins. Could have lost her life, could have gotten a little bit too jittery, but she did not buckle. As soon as a little bit of spray came out from Cairo, I think, she immediately backs off just to play that extra bit of time. And even coming down to it, I don't know if she had that like game sense or whatever it was, but there was a little bit of that extra spray. She got off at the once the defuse got to halfway. And then Sway just waited for the extra spray before coming in to finally secure the kill and to secure the round win. Incredible stuff from Couldn't Care Less, and this is what they need. A little bit more decisive, a little bit more firepower to take these fights head on and then push onto site. Playing off of the Cosmic Divide now, they might be able to get the spike down again, but I don't know how the retakes will work out for Komorebi Hearts. We do have the wall already taken out. Paint Shells was used as well from Lolita.
There's a lot at stake here. I mean, the postman is beautiful. There are 2 on towards its side, but 3 guarding it from the garage area. And that El Ubu already gets 1 against Cass. But Catharsis, Strawberry Bagel doesn't really check the corner, but Cairo does and gets that kill. So they have enough time, maybe, but a lot of slowdown utility is being poured on towards that spike. And another snake bite to delay everything else. Cairo knows that she doesn't really have enough time, so she's just gonna exit through. But she dies to the spike. Unfortunate for her. She just really wanted to save, but it wasn't enough time.
Not enough time, but not too bad. They managed to secure another round win for Couldn't Care Less, and that's the decisiveness that they need to start chaining these rounds back to back. So 2 rounds now. Will they be able to get the 3rd and potentially bring us back to a 5-5? Komorebi Hearts right now, I mean, you know, this is where they need to change things up a little. In fact, that's what they're trying to do now. It's going to be a bit of a half buy. I do see some marshals, some sheriffs. In fact, stacking up on the B side, almost 2 on Heaven, 2 towards the B side itself. That could be something that they could use to stall and delay the spike plant even further.
Well, in terms of the delay now, Kairo is doing her best with all of the utility, but the team of Komorebi, they're not seeing anything with that Viper smoke. And now they also have no vision because the wall is just really behind them. Now El Uwu gets that kill, that Battle Sage now against that other Battle Sage. But this position is beautiful, although she will be caught off guard. There's that utility again. I think this is what it's made for. I think this is really the reason why they picked these agents. It's really to win these post plants. Because imagine you have that utility from Breach, you're being thrown snake bites all the time, and that first round of defense of that spike was LU. The rest should be able to just survive and use the utility to delay that defuse.
It's starting to work out beautifully, right? 0 duelists, but you have all the post plant setups in the world. You got snake bites, you got nanoswarms, you got potentially an aftershock, maybe even a gravity well just to pull them off the spike defuse. That is exactly what this composition is for, but the problem is they need to be able to find an entry and basically get the spike down and then have enough time to get into position for those post plant setups. But right now, with the attacking lockdown, they go into the site. Spike not down yet, though. They're trying to get it in, but it's currently being stopped. There's a bit of resistance because of the paranoia, the paint shell. Still, they don't quite connect, but oh no! A little bit of a collision course. It allows for Kairo to pick up double kill, and now Catharsis swings things back for a bit. But is it going to be enough, though? Kairo's still out. She smells blood, and she wants even more. She goes in, she gets the Quadra! And Exaki is getting another kill in towards Garage as well. They come in the full death squad this time. No post-plant setups for Couldn't Care Less.
Yeah, they just gave it away. I mean, they gave the site away because of the lockdown. At least they had to back out. But once the lockdown was finished, they all had positions that really gained them that advantage. And Kara was just holding that part of the B site. Okay, and little did they know there was that gap between the wall, and that was just that impact kill Kara was able to give for them to win it out, because they already had at least space within the map, and it was a 5v5 at that point. So that's gonna be scary for the retake. Imagine how much utility is gonna be poured out to you. But Cairo was able to get those impact kills, and I think this is what Komorebi needs now. Maybe deny the entry, as you mentioned, because they don't really have that duelist. Deny that entry and get to kill those who are trying to slow this down. But looking at this, they did try to counter the wall. But that's going to be an entry.
Okay. She's trying to sell a fake because the rest of the team are going in towards the A site. She does a little bit of damage, but not really connecting on towards a kill. In fact, it's going to be Cairo again, the Gandalf. She's on the A site. She might not have delayed the spike plant, but she was able to pick off a kill, and that really weakens Couldn't Care Less's post plant. They're trying to go in to stop that lockdown, though, but they can't. Fear Rank goes in. She gets met by Cairo's crosshair, and right now, Lolita with the showstopper just pushing off El Uwu. No chance you want to peek this. In fact, she pushes past the smoke, but she gets met with the Phantom. So here we go. Another win for Komorebi Hearts, but going into this one, it's the last round of the first half, and I don't know what Couldn't Care Less could do.
Well, we're seeing a similar scenario here, but it's just Couldn't Care Less defending first, at least for the map of Ascent. But is it gonna carry out and maybe turn it around for the second half? But looking at how the team of Komorebi Hearts are defending the site, I mean, as you mentioned, like really, Kira was a Gandalf of that site. So even though they tried to sell a fake, Kira will always be that anchor to try and stop the push from that A site. And this is going to be scary because this is going to be quite a default play now for CCL, but they're going to double back. They're just going to show their faces on the A site, but they want to go back to B. But there are 3 people guarding B right now. So this is going to be quite tricky for them.
Yeah, I mean, taking a look at, assuming that they don't have the vision that we do, Couldn't Care Less They don't have all that much information. A little bit of that wall might be a sensing for Mythica to assume that there's a possibility that Execuse could have boosted herself up in towards the left side, and she would be right. But again, pushing past that, if you don't have the smokes, it's a full-on crossfire. Oh, she did not check it. The Rolling Thunder doesn't connect, and in fact, that allows for Execuse to pick up the quick double kill. Instant trades, though, by Mythica, and is it going to be enough? She goes in, she wants to get the spike down, but there's still a little bit more utility to deal with. The paranoia flushes them back a little bit, and they get basically stuck towards this half the site. Cosmic Divide up now at this very point in time will give them a little bit extra space. They could push in towards the backside to set up for some kind of a crossfire. But at the same time, 15 seconds past this, and Komorebi Hearts are going in for the execution. They get met with the crossfire, and it's all up to Cairo now. She picks up yet another kill in towards Garage, and it's down to the 1v1. Goes in, and with the strafe shot, perfect accuracy, perfect fire control, and she takes the round win, 8-4 at the end of the first half for Komorebi Hearts.
It's really unthinkable that if you think that is already an unwinnable situation, Kira manages to make it winnable for her. Like how she just really does play it smart. So given that, okay, they have information where the opponents are, it's just the magic of Kiro in terms of not just being a Gandalf, I mean, not just being the Killjoy, but also that clutch master for Komorebi Hearts. But again, this is something that CCL should be thinking of right now during this defense, because their composition is very, very powerful in terms of attack for those post plants. But right now, in terms of this defense, at least you have that Sage wall to try and slow things down, and also that Viper wall towards mid. But that's gonna be a paint shell just to displace. Oh, you can't take that orb with just for. I mean, you can't just take that orb for free. You have to really get a little bit of damage from my paint shell.
Yeah, so a little bit of trade. You trade the heal for the orb, and you force your opponent to spend paint shells a little bit. Not the worst thing in the world, okay? She's trying to play the long game. She might be able to build up towards the res a lot faster than what Komorebi Hearts could pull off, but at the same time, this is already information for Komorebi Hearts. They know that there is a Sage setup in towards B. There is a potential that the A side is the weaker one, and they would be right. The question is, how much time are they going to spend just to get towards that point? For now, we got two players just kind of hovering over B, hovering over mid. She instantly gets one tapped by Sway, and that's going to be a painful one. Could be the same setup that we saw previously, because if they push past in towards the A site, the only one to stop them there is the Killjoy player.
Seconds left. Spike carrier is hit. Spike down A. Spike planted.
Oh.
Last player standing.
Yeah, right. This is, I have been in this place before. It's very, very possible because, again, like you said, couldn't care less. Their composition is also something that works out on the defensive side. I mean, they have a lot of stalling potential, and at the same time, coming in for the retakes, they're actually able to make it work. I mean, there was a little bit of that wall. Komorebi Hearts did make it a little bit more difficult, but coming into it, they lost, I think, way too many players in the process as they tried to push in, and that is because of the utility that Couldn't Care Less has. But this time, the wall up, Elu getting a little bit greedy. She peeks into it, and she gets spent by 5 pistols. So they get to upgrade, but I don't know if they want to continue pushing past this, though, because the rotations have already come in.
Yeah, that's gonna be risky, and that aftershock is gonna hurt and give them a little bit of time. But it's still 1 minute in. I mean, 1 minute remaining for them to enter towards the site, but they're all grouped up here in this B site, so they're just waiting for the perfect opportunity. Maybe for an aggressive push, maybe for some utility, but right now, they're playing these mind games, making them think that they've already rotated towards an A site. But that's not the case here. They're just waiting it out. In terms of the defense, one is down already for the team of Couldn't Care Less. And are we going
30
to
seconds
see a
left.
satchel entry here from Lolita to maybe distract here Mythica? So there's going to be that fault line and that kill from him, for her here. And now Sway already gets one. And in terms of the defense, I think they waited. I mean, the offense, they think they waited too long to execute. Now there's
Oh,
everybody
man.
else here in the B side. As you mentioned, I think you were correct in that opinion. Okay, there were rotations now towards the B side. So if they wait a little bit longer, the timing isn't just gonna be right. Because I think before they actually executed, there were just what one person guarding the B side. It was just Mythica. But
Yeah.
since they did have that inkling that they're going back to B, okay, they just stacked B, and that was a win now for CCL.
Exactly right. I mean, at the same time, Fiorantic on the A site, she got no information, and that probably means that Komorebi Hearts aren't going in towards A at all. But this time, they certainly are trying to make a quick play in towards A. Is it gonna work out though? That's another thing. We see the satchels coming into it. She's trying to make the close range plays work with the Phantom, but unfortunately gets traded by Fiorantic from the back. Cass trades it off as well, but here comes El Uwu. We got trades back to back, and right now the Aftershock trying to stop the plant from going through, but it gets down regardless, and it's going to be Cairo now just securing the back angles, taking yet another player down. She might be low HP, but her job is basically done for the day, and now with 2 players remaining, Couldn't Care Less. It's not going to be an easy retake at all, but if they're actually able to secure Cairo's Phantom, it might help them a little bit further. Slow warp in, it forces Cairo out. She tries to play off of contact, but doesn't even need it. Mythica just pushes forward and somehow, with her Spectre, was able to spray down 2 players. And there it is, the bonus round for Couldn't Care Less.
Yeah, that fault line. She just really made a guess. There might be people behind this wall, so I'll just do that fault line, and then she catches both of them. Both of them are dazed right now, and they didn't really expect this quick of a push here for Mythica, and won them that round. As you mentioned, she didn't even need assistance from the stage anymore. Okay, I got this. I have my utility, so I'll play this to my advantage. She even had one more flashpoint, so if ever she gets one kill, she can just back away and then use that flashpoint to get in this place their opponents. That was just beautiful in terms of how they retook the site.
100%. I am so glad that you caught that fault line play, because that truly was the thing that allowed Mythica to secure the kills. We see the wall on the other side, and that kind of pigeonholed them into the corner. They weren't expecting the fault line, and if they did jump out onto the other side, they would be met with Mythica's Spectre. So they stood still. Unfortunately, with the days, just not enough firepower to deal with Mythica's oncoming onslaught, and that is the thing that really hurts them. But coming into this now, Komorebi Hearts, at least the nice thing that they're doing so far, they're the only team that has been calling these timeouts, and I certainly hope they're making great use of them, because they're kind of trying to make a play happen right now. They're going with the full Spectres. I wonder what they could possibly be trying to pull off.
They think they forced to buy for them to maybe secure a win because they were able to do so even though they were on a save. I think in the map of Ascent that happened to them. But in terms of mid control, Sway is not just giving it away for free. I mean, there's this toxin screen.
Ooh,
You also have that poison orb.
one way as
So
well.
it's one way as well, so they can really cross that safely. But looking at this, there's going to be that paranoia, but no entry just yet. Sway is just waiting here. Strawberry Bagel actually
Oh.
spots her out, but good thing there were Lolita's paint shells. But they're just giving away. They have a lot of time now. The lockdown gave them that space, but they couldn't really take it from CCL just yet. But right now, there's going to be a spray here by Furantic. She's gonna win that duel. And now from a 4v3, we're now down to a two players remaining for Komorebi Hearts. They have to play this
30
smartly.
seconds left.
Kiro has been that type of player for the team. She just really wants to maybe get that kill against El Uwu. And now it's an even
One enemy
advantage in
remaining.
terms
Last
of the
player
players.
no.
There's going to be a double. Furantic just sprays them through. They just
Well.
lined up for Furantic.
Kind of lined up, kind of just great sprays from Furantic. I mean, that is recoil control, and she really knows how to get that down pat. On the other side, I mean, it's a great attempt from Couldn't Care Less, right? They had two players remaining, and they were up against three, and we had Cairo just pushing in towards stairs, having an inkling of where the Sage player could be. She went in for, I mean, it wasn't exactly a pre-fire, but as soon as she saw a player, instantly reacted, took her down, swapped to the Phantom, and secured yet another kill. Just unfortunately wasn't able to take Fiorantic down. So very close, but unfortunately no dice. And back into the next round now. Komorebi Hearts, they might have forced bot previously, but they still have enough for just maybe some rifles this time around. And they really need to make this one count, because if they don't win this, it's going to be yet another eco. And that's where Couldn't Care Less's momentum are really, really just coming in underway. And after that, I don't know how you're going to stop them.
Yeah, and if CCL wins this, it's only going to be a lead. And assuming that they're going to be on a save for the next one, that's going to be 2 points in terms of the deficit now. I'm looking ahead, but right now, because of all of these utilities really poured out the wordsmith, they can't really cross. There's a gravity well, there's also that aftershock from breach, that fault line, and sway as well as that viper. But right now, there's going to be Lolita trying to enter towards the side, but she's not gonna get anybody with that showstopper. Furantic is gonna be that one to get that kill, but now it's going to be Kiro again in this clutch situation, a 1v5. She's just waiting for Furantic to peek, but not giving it away because Furantic is very, very low at the moment.
10 seconds left.
I think even if Furantic peaks this, she's going to make it a double peak with her teammate, and that just makes things so much more difficult for Cairo. I mean, you could save the Phantom. At this point, you basically did. But you really need to make it count, because you carry it forward onto the next round. You don't get the round loss bonus. It's something that could affect your team's economy. But for now, so far so good, I guess. But Couldn't Care Less's momentum. That's 5 rounds in a row, and they're not stopping at all. And it's like you said, any time they try to go somewhere, similarly to what we saw in Ascent, because of this
Yeah.
current Asian composition, right? Like, there is not a thing that they could do. They wait out the time, but because you got 2 controllers to work against, by the time you make your way onto a side, you got like, what, 30 seconds left? It's very difficult for KOM.
Yeah. And even now, for this round, all 5 ultimates of Couldn't Care Less is online. So that's going to be tricky in terms of this push now. Because if they go towards this A site, there's going to be at least that ultimate from Breach. And as well, if they go towards mid, you have that Viper's Pit. So this is gonna be tricky, and the reason why Komorebi Hearts is just waiting it out is because they have a lot of utilities to aggress towards A main. but they're just really playing this safely up until now. And the fault line, perfect timing, and it's gonna slow them down. But is it gonna be enough though? Because there are now 5 people running towards A heaven.
They're just going in for this. They're stepping their gas pedal and they're not slowing down at all. What? Even going past spawn into its screen, they actually make a trade happen. But what they don't expect is El Uwu up over the top of rafters. Now, they're able to find a little bit more, but pushing into this, they don't expect her to hold the off angle. And El Uwu with the spray down gets the quadra kill. 10-8, couldn't care less. Are not slowing down. They don't care. And they've won 6 rounds in a row now.
Yeah, I mean, I told you it's gonna be now 2 rounds in favor of CCL given that bye. But yes, I mean, in terms of Komorebi, I think both of these teams are very powerful in terms of their defense. But once it's switched up to attack, they seem a little bit more comfortable defending. But right now, in terms of the attack, I think someone really has to step up, and it's probably Strawberry Bagel as that Reina, because that's going to be the power of that Empress online for them. And they do have that res, but I'm not so sure if it's gonna be a smart move to try and invest it in this round when in fact they're on a save. So right now, I think this is gonna be tricky again for Komorebi Hearts. Because if they go towards B Heaven, you have all of the Killjoy utilities lined up for them. And it's hard because they're only on a low buy, so they don't have enough shields to try and counter that. Good thing about that is it got popped already. So that's a layer of defense down.
Wow, but even layer of defense down, you still got to deal with Sway, who is the biggest layer. I mean, the Viper's pitch, he's playing around the corner of it as well. Getting the first frag in the round. They try to blast back into it to just kind of displace and throw her off, but it's not enough. Fiorantic from the top as well. Every single player from Couldn't Care Less basically getting a frag, even the knife, or shall I say the sword, but that is Couldn't Care Less, just making full use of every bit of utility that they have. I mean, Viper's Pit, Nano Swarms, Alarm Bots, Gravity Wells. You cannot push in towards B without losing something.
Yeah, and what they lost was really that round. Because I think and you know what? Couldn't Care Less just did invest for that one. Just one ultimate. It was just the Viper's Pit. They still have the rest of the utilities online. But in terms of maybe a response from Komorebi Hearts, they do have that lockdown available for them. So this is gonna be a utility that may be worth their while to try and enter towards a site. But right now, they're slowing things because, again, of the utility of Sway here towards mid. Will you peek a one-way smoke? That is the question. Of course, that is gonna be a big risk. But if you do get that kill, that's gonna be high reward.
High risk, high reward. I mean, after enough times, you could kind of assume that they would be holding that same angle, going for a bit of pre-fire. That might take down the one-way, but whatever it is, Sway just adjusts. She's hiding behind the boxes, and she gets a frag for her, I guess, reward. Here we go, though. Locked down to just kind of push them back a little bit, and now Komorebi Hearts are thinking of going in towards the A site, but already rotations from Couldn't Care Less are just right on time. We have and the Astra in towards A heaven. You got LU hiding on the other side of ramps as well. They might have popped the Empress, but is it actually going to help them in terms of this entry? Oh my god, yet another off angle. She picks up the quick double. Cass is able to find one, makes it a trade, and all of a sudden this is a lot more doable, but the spike has been dropped. Cairo needs to be quick on this, but she loses her life, and it comes down to this 1v2. Cass is not aware that there's a player by screens, and that's going to be Mythica pushing her team in towards match point.
Oh
point.
no, this is really deja vu. I mean, it was Komorebi's lead earlier, but now CCL is striking back in this defense, and it doesn't seem that they're just giving it away. I mean, in terms of Komorebi's pushes, okay, they maybe get a casualty, but in terms of the retake or that defense of CCL, it just makes the site so hard to penetrate, and that's gonna be what now the case, because match point already, and this is gonna be Mythica getting that first kill. It's gonna be Flashpoint to try and displace the team members, but LU, she's gonna hold another off angle here yet again. She's been getting those multi-kills using these off angles. She spots out Cairo here, but she just really backs out. Executes is gonna be successful with that resurrection, because Strawberry Bagel was just there to defend her comrade.
So a little bit of a trade, but the res comes in regardless. And that gives numbers advantage to Komorebi Hearts, but whatever it is, they still need to find a way to get onto site. So far, they haven't really been able to do so. Not easily at the very least, because of all of this utility. I mean, at the same time, right now, Cosmic Divide just buys that much time for CCL to make another play. Komorebi Hearts might be hiding on the other side of that, and just with the right timing, they push in, they get one, but they make it a trade instantly. Catharsis is here to stop them from pushing past. Still though, taking a look at your mini-map, they're going in towards vents so fast. Sway's here to stop them though, and there's the spray down. Oh my god, it's a double. Just like that, you got 15 seconds remaining. Exekeys has got question marks in the head. She's so paranoid about getting the spike down now. At this point, it's a bit of a gamble. She tries to stick it, gets taken out by Sway. And Cairo has to be the one to save the day, but she cannot. A quadra to end things off. And couldn't care less secure this 13 to 8.
At least redemption in terms of defense.
Maybe a little bit, right? That's kind of what we're hoping for. But again, I have to remind you, whatever the attacking or defending sides are, the next map is Haven, and that is statistically or historically one of the worst maps for Komorebi Hearts. Again, like, this is really a bit of deja vu, but in the words of Michael Scott, how the turntables really turn. This time, it's couldn't care less that really turned it around. I mean, at first they were doing not so great on the attacking side. Maybe it's because of their agent composition with the lack of duelists. It's a little bit more difficult to find entries. But once they swapped over onto defense with the double controller, you got the double sentinel as well. It's just that much more difficult for Komorebi Hearts to find a way to even break past a place like, say, Mail Room, Be Heaven, whatever they tried. Anytime they set foot onto that one spot, it's just either utility or Sway hiding in a corner somewhere, and they couldn't break through.
Yeah, and that's gonna be quite scary now for the team of Komorebi Hearts, because looking at the scoreboard, it was Cairo again on top, but the rest of CCL just lined up below her. And in terms of the balance of the kills and the KDA, CCL was just really on point with that rate, and the rest of the team members of Komorebi Hearts really did not perform as well as we did see in the map of Ascent. So looking at it now, I mean, Cairo is going to be their Gandalf, so everybody that they look up to. But again, they need to go past that Hobbit phase to secure this round. I mean, they have a journey, right? They have
Yes.
to destroy the ring and make it to Mount Doom and then just really save the day for their team members and also the fans who are watching this live video.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly like you said. You got a Gandalf, but one lone Gandalf is really not enough. You need your Samwise Gamgees to carry you on the back and really help you climb Mount Doom. You need your Aragorns, your Legolases, or well, Sova, or something along
Yeah.
those lines. Maybe we'll have that. Haven is a map where Sovas could actually perform quite well. So we'll have to wait and see what these teams have in store for us. But for now, I'm gonna say my bets are on couldn't care less just because of the statistics. Komorebi Hearts again on Haven, it's not a map that they perform too well on because take a look at how they play so far. They are very defensive. When they're playing on the defender side, they don't move not that much until they get some information. And even then, playing retakes on a map like Haven, where you got 3 different spike sites, and A is one of the more difficult ones to retake from. They cannot afford to give Couldn't Care Less that much space, because if they do, Couldn't Care Less are going to abuse and use that to the best of their abilities. So I don't know what's going to happen next, but my eyes are going to be wide open.
Yes, when you mentioned the ace site is going to be difficult, especially with how Sway holds that operator for the team. You're always going to be seeing Sway probably there with an operator getting the first pick off against Komorebi Hearts. So
Yeah.
that's going to be one thing that they should be careful about, and then maybe use a lot of utility just to get her away from that angle. But the rest of the team members of Komorebi, I think I don't want to agree with you, but I'm placing my bets here on Komorebi. Maybe they have a plan here now on how they could be able to counter CCL's power.
Right? Not impossible, but we will have to see. So for now, we are going to go for a quick 5-minute break. And after that, it's going to be these two teams, Komorebi Hearts versus Couldn't Care Less on Haven. So don't go away. We will be right back after this break. And welcome back, everyone. It's going to be the third and final map of the day, Couldn't Care Less versus Komorebi Hearts on the map Haven. I mean, we just saw two maps back to back. It went 1-1. Really kind of like deja vu. They flipped the tables around on each other.
Yeah.
At first, it was Komorebi Hearts with a big comeback. This time, it was Couldn't Care Less with a big comeback. I don't know what to expect anymore for map number 3, but that's why I'm so thankful that we've got our great co-caster here. It's none other than The Donut. What do you think is going to happen on Haven?
This is gonna be interesting because, I mean, Komorebi Hearts haven't really won a map of Haven, but CCL has, and they have selected this decider map for a reason. They might be going in for these combination plays because for a map like Haven, I know that there are 3 sites, so now you have more room to actually just maybe leave one to the sentinel. So it's always going to be in terms of the setup of defense. Okay, maybe an alarm bot towards B, and then a turret guarding that that garage area. But the rest of the members will have that duo to really favor out. And how CCL has been playing, especially for Ascent, the combinations of that Astra gravity well,
Vector?
and as
Oh.
well as that, what do you call that swarm grenade combos that we've been seeing from them. This will really play a big role for the map of Haven. So again, this was selected by Couldn't Care Less, and starting out on defense will be Komorebi Hearts. So not unless Komorebi Hearts get a very very big lead during their defense, Couldn't Care Less can just easily again swap out and turn the things around once they're on the defense.
Yeah, there's that big potential, and this is where I think, it really does kind of favor Couldn't Care Less a little bit, just because they've proven that, on maps where they get to be a little bit more aggressive, where they really get to control things, they really can perform. Every single one of their players. I mean, this is something we've mentioned before. At the end of the game, the scoreboard, we see that the CCL players are basically bunched up together. Cairo might be the one on top, but right after her is all the CCL members, and it's something that kind of worries me, because a map like Haven, yeah, some angles are long, but some angles are really tight as well, and you have to be very careful about how you approach these sites. So it's a good thing that, I guess, Komorebi Hearts started to they got to pick the side, and they started to pick on defense. It could be good, it could be bad, because it's Haven. You got
Mhm.
3 spike sites, and if they are not able to play around this map and its features, it's something that could really hurt them in the long process, right? I mean, imagine if, like, the end of first half, it's something that favors CCL, like an 8-4. How do they come back on attack? So I don't really want to just, like, place my bets real quick, but I'm waiting to see what the Asia composition would be.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna be exciting, and even Lolita now picking up as that duelist for the team. She's been very known as that fragger, even though she's a killjoy. So, but there's a little bit of maybe what we need is really a step up from her, because as that duelist and as that raise, you get to use all of the utility to your advantage. I mean, it just really hurts. The paint shells, we've seen that somebody died to it earlier, but I think we would really need to see Strawberry Bagel and Lolita step up more, especially for Haven. Maybe them having that duo all together. Okay, a leer from Strawberry Bagel, and then also a push and also an aggression for Lolita will maybe help them get that kill. But then yeah, I mean maybe we haven't seen yet the comps, but assessing from how they were playing earlier, maybe that's one thing that they need to really amp up in terms of their game.
Yeah, they really kind of need to amp that up a little bit to just really back things up and support Cairo. I mean, I don't know if she's the IGL, but maybe you could tell me, but so far she's been really making things work as a Killjoy, and that's something that you don't see every day. Killjoy topping the scoreboard always getting these frags, even when it comes down to the clutch situations, the retakes. She's actually able to pull off so much. And as a killjoy, it's not really because of utility. It comes down to her positioning, the way she's able to be the sentinel at the site, and then to stall as much as possible with her nanosword. So it's incredible stuff. Her team needs to be there to support that as well.
Yeah.
But again, on a map like Haven, I don't know. Do you think Killjoy is the way to go? Will she swap over onto something else?
Well, I think in terms of her comfort pick, it's usually really the Killjoy for her. But as mentioned by other people, they do prefer to have that Cypher instead. Or some people have just dropped the Cypher entirely, having that hard Sentinel, and instead going and opting for that double controller setup, maybe an Astra and Viper combination. Really works well for the map of Haven. But it just really goes down to how the collaboration takes place within the map. Because of course, if you don't really have that sentinel, you need that information. You need to have that alarm trigger. Okay, they're already entering the site, so now what should we do? But given that they have, if and when they would choose to have that double controller setup, then they must be hungry for that information. So they would have to peek dry. They would have to constantly jiggle peek, because they're not going to be secure at all during their defense.
Yeah, that's something that we don't want to have happen. So I'm really hoping to see that this agent composition is going to be something that does favor them. But speaking of things like double controller, we have seen that from Couldn't Care Less. So I wouldn't be surprised if they go for that Astra Viper combo again. I say that, but now they've swapped over onto something. In fact, it's double Sentinel. Is that really happening? Oh, right. Maybe there was a little bit of a connection issue. They're repicking things for a second. But if I'm not wrong, according to the rulebook, if you lock down your agent selection already, you have to pick that again.
Yeah.
So we might see a double Sentinel from Couldn't Care Less.
Yeah, and they chose that Cypher because it's very, very important. Like, some people, they would like to play passive with that spy cam. So it's just really, okay, nobody defending the site, but I have the camera ready just in case, so I can give you information. Or that aggressive camera towards A main. That's always helpful for the teams, because you have to know how many would cross that A main door, that tunnel towards a short. So that's going to be information, at least for a Cypher. That's very, very vital for the team members. But maybe having that double sentinel setup will just really be an investment towards their defense. But it's
Yes.
important at least to have that stage to get that heal, right?
Probably. It's a weird thing, because if you're starting out on the attacking side and you go for double Sentinel, if you don't have some kind of plan to back that up, it's very difficult for you to break into sight. You're basically dry peeking almost everything. It's that much more difficult for you to create space, because you don't have the mobility that, like, say, a Jet or a Raze provides. They do have that one Jet player on their team, though, so maybe that's the way they're going to kind of balance that out. But on towards the defensive side, I can definitely see that working out. I mean, just picture a Killjoy locking down the anchor of the C site, a Cypher with all of his traps and utilities up on the A site, and then the rest of the team are basically free to, either back them up or make some kind of an info play and basically flush out the Komorebi Hearts players. And that's where I would start to get a lot more worried for KOM, because I didn't get a good glimpse of what their agent selection is, but it's all these factors that they need to take into account to really counter whatever CCL might have in store for them.
Well, in terms of their usual picks, Komorebi Hearts, it's Cass going to be that controller for the team. So usually she would do play the Omen. And
Right.
then right now for Exekeys, we saw her play the Sova for Ascent. This is interesting. Strawberry Bagel is hovering over Yoru and the map
That
of
has to be a
Haven.
troll.
It might not be one. If this is executed
okay.
perfectly, then that would make a lot more sense. But no, she just shifted back to the Phoenix instead.
I would be actually. I might be happy if she went with Yoru. That could be a very interesting thing because we don't get to see too many Yorus. But whatever it is, it does seem like they're actually going to swap off of whatever they had earlier on. CCL, no double Sentinel. In fact, it's just Fiorantic on the Killjoy. But Komorebi Hearts now hovering over these picks. It's of course, Cairo on her comfort cast a dedicated Omen, executes a Sova, something that we saw basically almost identical as to what they had on Ascent,
Hmm.
perhaps with the exception of Lolita. I'm not sure if she played Raze on Ascent.
She did play Raze on Descent, but right now they're choosing that Jet. And I think in terms of the mobility of the Jet, she really does work well in terms of the defense, especially on the A side, because you can just go up those boxes and then dash out, just reposition. Gaining that higher ground is important to get that off angles. As we saw earlier, like it was, I think, El Ubu always holding those off angles and
Mm.
catching Komorebi Hearts off guard. And maybe this time Komorebi Hearts can do the same against CCL, getting those off angles instead. Because that's one thing that I've noticed for the team of Komorebi. They always hold these usual angles. So they either get pre-fired or they
Ah,
get
yeah.
pre-aimed. So that's why it's always the team of CCL gaining that first pick off, especially for split, right? Because you only have a couple of spots wherein you can try and defend and
Mm.
hold that angle. So that's maybe the case.
Little bit predictable. So hopefully KOM will switch things up. Meanwhile, couldn't care less already to start things off, looking to come up with some kind of mid aggression. At the same time, you do have that Astra Star up towards the mouth of A Long. It's something that they could use to pull off a fake and maybe get some kind of cross in towards A short. But whatever it is, it's not being used right now. In fact, it's going to be Sway trying to find something in towards Garage. But if she peeks this, okay, all right, she does take down the alarm bot. I thought it was going to be a lot worse, but Strawberry Bagel just backed up. So a little bit more defenses in towards C. And couldn't care less. Again, still just trying to find whatever they possibly can before committing to a site.
And it seems like they're going to the A site now. The spike is slowly creeping in towards A long. But I guess this will be more of a distraction play again. They're trying to sell a fake here. So once Mythica will actually get triggered by this alarm, this turret, then that's going to be okay. Maybe they're going B. Or right now, though, it's Lolita spotting out a member of the team
Oh,
of
no.
CCL. But that's Cass already getting one kill. Lolita gets a second already, a third
Ooh.
one, at least for this round. 2 kills for Lolita right now, but it's also Strawberry Bagel helping out her teammate, and Mythica is down to 1v4. What can you do if 4 people are peeking at you? Just maybe get one and then just lose the round entirely because it's Komorebi Hearts gaining that pistol in this defense.
And that's the Lolita that we were looking for with her pistols, just hiding behind the crates on a site, peeking at the perfect time to take the spike carrier down and then snapping onto the next target. She's starting to, chain some kills together now, and before long, she's gonna get her ultimate, her Blade Storm, and this is an incredibly strong start for Komorebi Hearts. Slightly different, couldn't care less, because they're playing a lot more hesitantly. The way that they're trying to approach it without any information, they don't feel too comfortable. In fact, just hiding around the other side of B, I'm pretty sure they hear the same turret placement. If they walk into Garage, though, it might just bite them in the back. They take out the utility, but here comes the curveball. They try to push past it, but LU, oh my god, just aggressively dashing right in front of KOM. She gets taken out. Mythica will be able to find a trade with a right click, but still, it's going to be the Spectre on the C side to take her out.
Yep, and that's a healthy round now for Komorebi, but I think they're just maybe able to loan Cairo now a ghost for this round because the team of CCL they're able to buy up now. I mean they've stocked up on the money. They have now the Phantoms and the Vandals that they need to get this win. And in terms of their entries, it hasn't really been clean. Well, the last round was a disadvantage because of the guns, but Now that we're seeing Sway here really charge up towards the C site, then this might be the X factor that we want to see for CCL. Looking at this
Wow.
now, there's just going in that side. They're pressing W, but little do they know that Exekis is here, but she gets taken down by El Uhu, and this is gonna be a plant secured now for Firantic, and the rest of the team members of CCL are very very low, but El Uwu already gets that kill. There's gonna be a dash out. She wants to take a safe haven back towards this site. She's going to be the first contact. But the rest of her team members are back down in C long. So she just rejoins them now just to really secure this win. But they're nowhere near the site. So and also the time is ticking now for the team of Komorebi Heart. So they need to make a play, maybe smoke out C long. But there's going
Oh
to be the
no.
nano swarms. Perfect timing for that. And
Oh.
El Uwu secures her 4th kill now. And that's what, a 3rd round turnaround for the team of Couldn't Care Less.
My gosh, just absolutely incredible. Getting all of those kills. Now it's a quadra. Now she's 6 out of 7 for her Blade Storm. At the same time, that's the decisiveness that Couldn't Care Less were looking for. Now that they have the firepower, they felt a lot more comfortable. It's just a full on C split execute. I mean, you had the flashes, the leers from Sway. At the same time, you got LU dashing in and doing all of that stuff. I guess Komorebi Hearts just weren't quite expecting it. They tried to wrap around the back, but it's still the Spectre versus the Rifle. Here we go now. It's going to be an operator shot that misses from Lolita. She gets the information, though, and I think that's what they were looking for. Now, even if CCL tries to break onto the A site, they're going to be met with a whole lot of resistance.
Yeah, the resistance is the utilities from the Killjoy, and as well as maybe that curveball from that Phoenix. And then after that curveball, that would be a perfect time to spray them down. But the rotations have now come in. They're going to the C site where they had success in the last round, and it's gonna be Sway again to lead the charge in terms of this push. But El Uwu is just really being cheeky right now, and she's not gonna
Oh
get that
no!
kill. She misses the first few shots. Strawberry Bagel was successful with that strafe shot. But Sway here, is she
Wait.
gonna spot out Exekis? Are they trying to sell another fake? Because if they are, that's gonna be a little bit of a good decision because nobody's now guarding the A site.
That's
I
the
mean,
best fake ever. Sway gets a kill, completely baits all the rotations out from Komorebi Hearts. Meanwhile, her team gets the spike down on A for free. At the same time, because of her positioning, Sway could wrap around back towards mid to cut people off on the rotate. She is in position to possibly meet the Jet player, but instead she's going to play it safe and go all the way back in towards A long. At the same time, you got to take into account, Couldn't Care Less are a team that play a lot of host plants. Take a look at this. You got the nanostorms, you got the shock darts, and then you have Sway. It's not going to be easy at all for KOM to come in for this retake.
yeah, but they do have a lot of utility invested to try and delay that spike diffuse. Lolita as well has that operator, and she gets that kill and cast there. Just wanted to move forward and get on with it already. Mythica, however, gets a kill with that shock dart, but that wasn't enough because they were at a women disadvantage at that point. But and even Strawberry Bagel's info gathering ult, what she did there was just able to secure them that win. So all right, they know where they currently are within the map. So let's just try and hold it from here. That was a good play there for Komorebi Hearts. They just really didn't want to back down from it. And the funny thing is, the team of CCL, they weren't defending the spike so close to them. So that's
Mm.
why Komorebi Hearts just one smoke from Cass and they can maybe get that spike diffuse.
And
Right
that's
now,
Yeah, sorry. That's the exact danger of trying to play the post plant. But exactly right now, it's going to be CCL trying to get some information. They have, not the best economy, but at the same time, it's going to be LU, I believe, who has to Blade Storm up, and she's looking to make some plays with that ability. Lolita, though, still with the operator, does get a bit of information, but the main forces of CCL are headed towards the C site, and it's going to be Strawberry Bagel along with Exekis to receive this, immediately denying the Blade Storm, but getting traded as well. It's Mythica who seizes control over C. So now it's retakes game once more, and on C, it's a little bit difficult at the same time, just because the attackers can play all the way from C long.
Yeah, and they have the utility for it.
Oh.
And Mythica actually gets down Cairo, but Cass will be there for the trade. It's gonna be a C-long defense of this spike, but will this be enough? Lolita has the Blade Storm, and she's gonna push forward. But Cass actually gets that kill. What did they not know? It's just Catharsis from behind getting that, and she's gonna be just dancing this cha-cha together with Lolita, and she's gonna win that. With what? A jumping frenzy shot? That was sick, Catharsis.
A jumping frenzy. Lolita, oh no. She had the weaponry, she had her Blade Storm, but kind of whiffed her shots at the same time, trying to wrap around the other side. If I'm not wrong, she saw her, I don't know, her skirt, her fabric, her clothing, but just for whatever reason didn't like quite pre-fire that angle, and because of all that jumping, it kind of threw her aim off a little bit. So I guess well played by Catharsis, because that was Lolita's kill to have. But whatever it is right now, couldn't care less, starting to bring the momentum back to their side. And it's time for Komorebi Hearts to put a stop to this, but I don't think they have the best economy right now.
Yeah, they don't. What's good about this is at least they do have this crossfire here between Execus and Lolita. So this is just something that they have to hold at the moment. So at least Lolita now is the distraction. Somebody is behind that green box. And they just immediately back down. Okay, they know that there might be 3 players here in the C site. So let's just go back, because this is going to be a risky play. But Strawberry Bagels was actually holding a shorty, and it's not gonna be something of use to her just yet, because everything else is in the B site. The spike is there. All of the utilities are invested there at the moment, because you have that cosmic divide as, I mean, slicing up the whole B site to prevent them from actually defusing it.
Here it comes. It's still the same post plants. I don't know if they're going to actually be able to stop the defuse. So far, so good. The nanostorms are doing their job, but at the same time, you still got 3 more players to work against. Catharsis will make that a 2, and Furantic finds yet another. The sprays coming in onto Cairo, and Cairo just will not be able to matrix dodge those bullets. So couldn't care less, taking things back. The momentum on their side once more. They're starting to ride this wave, but KOM will be able to buy back into the next round.
Yeah, they're able to buy up now, but again, they're going to get into that cycle of doom if they don't win this. I mean, the team of Komorebi, they might be blessed with a little bit of the loss bonus, but they can't really rely on that just yet. So they have to secure this win for them to get another full buy for the next one. But right now, it seems that the A site is their choice of site to take. But is it going to be Cairo just defending it from here? Oh, she has that lockdown, so she's gonna just use it at the same time with the attacker lockdown. So if this gets destroyed now by the team of, oh, they do have the site now. CCL has full control of the A site. That lockdown was nullified because of that Hunter's Fury, and they're just gonna retake this site without any aid at all. There's gonna be the kill for Lolita at least, but they know that somebody is towards that hell site. But again, the paranoia comes in, but instead, I was actually, the teammate gotten blinded, and now Cass at least gets a kill of her own. It's a 3v2, They don't really have enough for post plant, but that's
Last
gotta
player
hurt
standing.
for Ferrantic, and even Cass gets
Oh.
that kill as well. And timing for that reload. As soon as the blaze was removed, Exekis was there to greet her and run her down.
I was gonna say for a second, yeah, Cass did Team Flash Lolita, but thankfully she redeems herself with an entry frag of her own, allowing for the rest of her team to swarm a site and basically find whoever was left on Couldn't Care Less. So they were able to bring the round back a little bit labored, but still they make it work. But coming back into the next round, though, both sides economy a little bit iffy. We do see a bit of Bulldog, some Spectres, but the question is still,
There.
what are Couldn't Care Less trying to pull off this time? They have the full Spectres and some Phantoms as well, but they're sending every single player down towards C. I think they got spotted because of the recon. And now this is information plenty, but the timing on the rotation is a bit slow.
Yeah, because they don't know just yet. Because they've been trying to self-fix. So right now they're like the boy who cried wolf. Okay, let's just not rotate until they do plant that spike. But looking at this retake, it's gonna be, ooh, as soon as the smoke dissipates, Mythica gets 2 headshots against the team of Komorebi Hearts. Now it's a 4-4. That was a half buy for CCL.
Half
And
buys, and somehow they were able to make it work. I mean, we had the share shots. I don't know.
yeah, I mean, Mythica gets the first one in terms of holding that site, and gets another towards Lolita. Wow, I mean, I think they are having that hot hands already, the team of CCL. And as we've seen before, and as we've said before, it's gonna be important for them to really get hot. It's not just supposed to be Cairo on that scoreboard, but it should be also the rest of the team of Komorebi Hearts. And as we're seeing now, the team of CCL, it's LO really being that entry for the team. She doesn't have any fear, and she's gonna walk through
man.
that C site and get the kill against Exekis. And that's going to be an open C site.
And now the spike gets delivered at the same time. It's not just Elu on the site. You got Sway to back her up as well. Without the firepower, it just seems like Komorebi Hearts are a little bit more hesitant about going for retakes. They're hovering on the other side of the smokes. They're hoping for someone to walk into their crosshairs, but it's not going to happen that easily. Kaz now trying to push past the Nebula. She's going to get met with Sway's Bulldog, which bites her in the back. And then Cairo. This is just working out to be very, very bad for Komorebi Hearts, because if I'm not, yeah, it's going to be the second round in a row again for Couldn't Care Less, and it's their momentum that's starting to come into effect.
Yeah, and we're just seeing a zigzag here. Okay, Komorebi Hearts gets 1 round, and then after that, Couldn't Care Less will respond back. But right now, it's Couldn't Care Less gaining that 2 points already in the last 2 rounds. So this is gonna be, yes, I agree with you, a little bit shaky now for Komorebi Hearts, especially if they don't beat. If they aren't really careful, especially with how El Uwu has been really creeping up each of the sites. She's just really like a snake. She just really crept her way in, and then okay, caught by surprise, Execute was executed at
Oh
that
my
round.
God. Snake slithering up, but this time it's another snake. It's Catharsis. She's hiding over on the other side of Barn just in case anyone tries to rotate from around the back. Now she gets a bit inquisitive, gets taken out by Strawberry Bagel, but her team has already gotten the spike down on the A site. So retakes, but CCL needs to watch out for all these different angles. Komorebi Hearts actually pushing out on the defensive side for the first time now, and it's starting to work out somewhat nicely. But Sway just backing up because of the hot hands. Strawberry Bagel trying to chase her down. She gets met with a bit of a leer, and right now just pushing and holding her back a little bit longer. Still though, Executes plus Cairo on the site itself, able to take down the remaining players. They secure this, and they get the defuse as well, passing it over onto Strawberry Bagel, so she gets her run it back. And running things back indeed, we are at 5-5 now. Both sides even Steven, square to square.
Well, that's just beautiful for Komorebi. I think even in the map of Ascent, what's been working for them are those retakes. I think this is now their strategy for the map of Haven. They just really let the team of CCL in, and then they just really win it by a well coordinated retake. And that's been what Komorebi Hearts, or maybe that's the brand of Komorebi Hearts. It's just really clean and effective retakes for them. But right now, it's not necessarily a retake play here for Strawberry Bagel because she's gonna peek out and see that there are two members of Couldn't Care Less. They're waiting for her to peek again. And Mythica, again, she's slowly making her way towards this site in that recon bolt. It's not gonna spot anybody back, but it's gonna be Strawberry Bagel and also Exeki's just waiting out.
Oh no. Yeah, it gives a lot of space up for CCL to get the spike down, set up their post plans. In fact, this cosmic divide just makes things a little bit worse. It forces and pushes Komorebi Hearts back a little bit further, but now they're adamant on pushing past this. Paranoia comes in and they have the Death Squad raining from above, pushing out of heaven. What they don't expect though is Sway hiding inside their own dark cover. She finds yet another, gets traded by Cairo, and now it's just a matter of looking for the last players. The AoE spray down, picking up a double headshot. Exekis, the 6th win for Komorebi Hearts.
Oh, it's just beautiful. Imagine just holding an Ares and then just spraying them down. I mean, sometimes a
You're
little
spraying.
bit better. Sometimes
Yeah.
a little bit better than an Odin, right? Because it's a little bit more accurate than the Odin.
Hmm.
So that was just beautiful for Exekis there. Well executed again in terms of that retake. So I think what the team of CCL has to do now is maybe guard the spike and maybe do what they did in the map of split. Use the utilities instead to try and hold down that spike so that they don't really get or lose a lot of casualties or have a lot of casualties for that round. Because if and when they take those duels, it's the team now of Komorebi Hearts winning them, especially during those retakes.
Especially during those retakes, it's almost always retake wins for Komorebi Hearts. Even with the post-plant setups now, it's a little bit more difficult. And here we go, Lolita starting things off with an angle hold of her own. She takes the head off of a player and is looking for the next one. But Sway, being very aggressive, pops her Empress and walks onto site. She's looking for a couple more frags, but Kairo's right on the edge of that outer smoke. She takes her down. That's the Empress gone. Owl Drone able to find one more player, and that's going to be Mythica, who gets tagged up and tagged down. Now they're just looking for the final remaining players. Catharsis gets spotted out, swaps to her sidearm, but it's not going to be enough. Catharsis able to find yet another, tries to make her way onto the C site where she is met by Strawberry Bagel over in Garage. Komorebi Hearts now starting to get a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more confident. They're moving all over the map, and because of that, able to take down the couldn't care less players when they try to attack and get the spike down.
And what's important here is in terms of the timing, they didn't really get that spike down, right? They already had B. They already invested what smokes and a lot of the utilities towards B, but they just really waited it out before they successfully planted that spike because they already had the first. I mean, Lolita had the first blood, but after that, in terms of the response, they just really scrambled their way in towards the B side, but nothing really happened for them in terms of the objective of really planting the spike and winning the round. So that was just really an opportunity lost for Couldn't Care Less. But in terms of the push now of wow, Team Komorebi, they're just gonna be sprayed down. Not, they're not necessarily sprayed down, but they're gonna be swayed down here by Sway as she gets 2 kills already with that ghost. And now instantly they just go back. They know that there's somebody, and a lot of people have rotated already. But Karo, the patience game, is it gonna win her this round? Nobody's gonna be spotted out by that recon bolt, so they're just gonna back down. If they go back to B, they're gonna be greeted again by Sway and as well as Catharsis. So they have to be ready to take these duels.
Are they gonna be ready though? Rotations have gone and they've gone back and forth, and now Komorebi Heart's trying to catch them off guard, pushing in towards a short, but oh my gosh, the fade away ghost headshot. Kaz is able to find one more, but not the second. Catharsis still holding things down, and now she knows the spike is over by a short. Cairo might be able to retrieve it, but what more can she do after that? At this point, she has no choice but to get the spike planted on A, but that is where every single member of CCL are on. It comes down to the duels, and she's trying to isolate and get them down. Gets the first headshot, but runs out of ammo for the second. Fiorantic will overwhelm her. And of course, taking the pistol round on the side of the second half.
Yep, and now I don't want this to be the second deja vu already, because it was it was Komorebi Hearts with a lead, but it's always going to be the case that if somebody wins the pistol round, then they win the next one, and that's going to be a turnaround round for those who were buying up the rifles. But right now, in terms of this attack of Komorebi, they have to be really careful about the angles, because they do forget to check sometimes, and like right now they can't afford to have these mistakes to get that win.
Well, I don't know how these mistakes will be forced out, but it's certainly something that they need to explore for now. It's going to be Komorebi Hearts again, getting a little bit inquisitive with their pistols, but Elu will be able to shut that down for the time being. A little bit of shots in towards mid as well, and CCL are fully aware of this. I mean, the Aries just to warn them and push them back. Going for the reload, though, allows for Strawberry Bagel to kind of push up front a little. Owl Drone spots them out. Is she going to repeak it? Goes back in, a bit of a spray. Warn them even further. Do not come into garage, because this is my territory. If you want to go somewhere, you got to find another spot.
And it might be the A site that they're rotating to, because they heard the warning shots of the Aries from that from Mythica. So that's gonna be quite scary. At least here, Strawberry Bagel does try to get that kill, but no, Fiorantic will win out because she was using that Spectre, and smoked out is LOU, but she still manages to get a little bit of damage against team of the Komorebi Hearts. So right now, though, it's a 2v5, a gun disadvantage, and now LOU is gonna drop off, and Mythica gets one as well. LOU there, 3 kills. Just with that stay in heaven, and what was that? I mean, now Komorebi Hearts, it's a 77 and even score line. They have to get this lead again if they want to win the map of Haven. And right now, we might be seeing maybe the reason why we haven't really won a map of Haven in the whole run of FSL. Because in terms of the attacks, they do scramble a lot. They have Cairo watching that flank. But the rest of the members, if and when they try to enter towards a site, they get sprayed down and they get run down here by CCL.
Yeah, they don't have the same setups or strats that we see from CCL, and Cairo might be sharp, but she cannot really do her job as an entry fragger if she's not on a duelist. So it's a little bit more difficult, but she's going to try anyway, and finding the opening pick that way certainly will work out for KOM. They get control over the site, Spike gets planted, and right now it's just a matter of holding a close plant where her Killjoy utilities will be able to help them out in full effect. Catharsis trying to peek outside of a link. She's starting to push past into this. Oh, but the teleports! She misses her shots, and regardless of the recon bolt, she will not be able to find much, and this time, it's gonna be Lolita with the Quadra to answer back to LOU. Both players very close to getting their ultimates.
This is what we mentioned about earlier, right? I mean, Lolita really popping off for the team, and together with Strawberry Bagel, they're the ones on top of the scoreboard now for the team of Komorebi Hearts. And it's Kiro here, down below. So this is something that's surprising to me, because maybe for these maps that might be Kiro's territory, but right now we're seeing Lolita and Strawberry Bagel really getting that grip here in the map of Haven. So this is something that they need to continue on, especially during these attacks. That it's very, very important to get the woman advantage, the man advantage for these, because you have 3 sites. Okay, once at least they get a pick off for for anyone guarding the C site, then instantly there's going to be that rotate, and just like that, the A site is free if you look at the minimap.
Exactly. And that is why I think maybe KOM aren't really committing to this yet. I say that, but now they just rush in towards Fiorantic's crosshair. The sprays come through and she takes down 3. KOM executes as she's looking to trade things back, but this time Elu is ready. Strawberry Bagel, though, don't count her out. She's coming in from the back. She takes 1 down. Here's the hops probably from Garage, but won't be able to get the snap on towards Elu, who takes her down, and we are back at an 8-8.
An 8-8, and this is gonna be a seesaw battle from here on now for sure, because okay, in terms of the attacks, Komorebi Hearts are assessing where would the Killjoy play. Let's not try and go there, because it's usually Garage in terms of the Killjoy, and even if they cross paths, it's going to be Fiorantic shutting them down. So right now, what they're looking for in terms of the opportunities within the map is find out where they currently are, and then let's find a way, a tactic, and how we can be able to like bully them on towards the side. And that's what happened earlier, supposedly. But once Fiorantic got that kill, then it was now a turnaround for the team of CCL. But here we see now Strawberry Bagel getting the opening pick that they need, but a trade instantly here. A jet for a jet right now for for round number 16. And Cairo here, she's the one scouting. Okay, this might be safe for us now. C might be safe for now because we have here Mythica. She can just really throw in a dart and maybe kill somebody through that smoke, but she doesn't do so. She just really wants to play it safe at the moment, and that lockdown is going to be their advantage now for this retake.
At this point, it just means that you need to get your kills from C Long. It might be planted for that, but it's still going to be difficult to spray past the smokes if you don't have perfect line of sight, and because of that, the spike gets defused. It might be a bit of a bloodbath now, but the round has been gone over to CCL, and that's where they start to chain that momentum again. Their economy might not be the best right now, but neither is Komorebi Hearts, and in fact, with the operator in the hands of LU on the defensive side, it's something that Komorebi Hearts might not expect, and this is really, really going to hurt.
Yeah, and now they're gonna be peeking towards her. They're gonna be greeted with an operator. All 5 of them are there, so they have to make sure that maybe a jet smokes it out first, or maybe use a cloud burst.
Oh.
But they do the jumping peaks instead, and that's going to be a shot missed here by LU now. But that's signal for them that they're towards an A site, so they have to be careful because these crossfires set up for the team is going to be effective, but it gets shut down by Strawberry Bagel here. Lolita up high, but LU a little bit higher than that. No kills just yet in terms of this retake, but the team of Komorebi Hearts, they're not budging. They're not giving away their positions, except for Lolita being trapped down by that. But Strawberry Bagel already gets 3 with this retake. She gets the entry. She gets the 3K. And now it's up to LU. What can she do? She's just gonna save this. This cost me a lot for this round, and I don't want to lose it. So might as well just really carry this on to the next round.
Still, though, I'm exceptionally impressed by Strawberry Bagel. I mean, picking up the Quadra, I'm not quite sure how she did it. Maybe it was the hot hands or the curveball to blind them as they tried to push past A-Link. But still, you gotta give her props for that. Spraying it down with the Vandal, picking up every single one of those kills right into that very choke point. Denied any sort of aggression from Couldn't Care Less. And, of course, bringing us back again to a tied game, 9-9. Still, though, Elu does save her operator, and again, that could be something that slows it down a little bit. But you got to remember, the previous round she kind of whiffed her first shots because of the jumping.
Yeah, that's so that's how you try and distract an operator, but El Uwu doesn't miss this time. She does get Lolita, but Kiro is gonna be there for the trade. So another entry now by Strawberry Bagel. It's gonna be successful because Exekis now gets Mythica, and they have to really watch out for these flanks because there are two now. It's gonna be Catharsis and also Sway here, trying to take a little bit of space from the team of Komorebi. So they're just gonna back down. We are already safe here in this site, and we don't want to lose any of these guns at the moment. So it's Exekis now executing two people from CCL. And it's just down to Ferrantic. She has nothing to lose at this point, so she must just want to get a kill or two. But no, Cass is gonna shut her down. And that's a 10-9. I told you it was gonna be a seesaw battle at this point.
It really, really is. But with the momentum on the side of KOM right now, with the operator gone, Elu has no choice but to go with nothing but her Blade Storm. And that it's one of those things. Again, you got to keep in mind, Jet nerf, right clicks won't refresh your knives, and Elu has to be careful about that. The same time, if they lose this round, Komorebi Hearts, now they'll be able to start going in with their momentum, and that's where things get a lot more trickier. She starts to get a little bit inquisitive, but hearing the gunshots, it's Lolita who pushes her back, and now they are looking to push along with this Aldrone. A-side has been successful for the past 2 rounds, but is it going to work for the third time? Or is third time the charm for CCL to stop this aggression?
Well, looking at this, they just really backed away from this,
Oh!
but except El Uwu, who just really wanted to peek so dry and get that kill. So they do have the ace side, but they're not as comfortable now because of El Uwu's Blade Storm. She just really ran out of blades at the moment, but there is still a chance for them. Mythica, able to get a kill using just the shock darts. And given that follow-up drone, they're gonna spot out Cass here, so she's gonna get her life saved again with that teleporter. And now Hero KV, what can she do? Their Exekis has the Hunter's Fury, so they know, but that's gonna be a cue at least for her to get that kill. But Ferrantic is gonna push her. She could get the kill, and she does! A 3K Clutch Masters of Komorebi Hearts. Wow! Exekis. She just really knew. I mean, the game sense on that lady must be pretty high. Because, okay, she knows that one will push up. And then she does that clutch. And then, okay, maybe sees one that's running towards her and gets that headshot. Wow.
Amazing stuff. I mean, she knows that a player was trying to chase her down after she popped the first Hunter's Fury, but she still fired a beam anyway to just force her back a little bit, by extra time for her to get off the Hunter's Fury and pull up her weapon. And then, knowing that she would be positioned on that spot, it's just perfect crosshair placement. Easy headshot, and she gets it down. But this time, Lolita trying to go for an aggressive play again towards A. It's going to be a little bit all too familiar for El Uwu, who finally takes her down this time. So without the numbers advantage, I don't think aggression in towards A again is the answer. They need to switch things up, because now, double kill for El Uwu. You got 3 players left. Are you still really banking on the A site?
They've had so much success on the A side, so that's why they want to keep going and knocking on these A doors. But right now, the team of CCL, they're answering back, and they're answering back with kills and shutdowns for this A side take. But Exekis here gets El Uwu up top. But right now, there's going to be a sub here, another one towards that heaven side. But I think they have more room to play with towards this. But at least they have the Hunter's Fury. They have that Astra Cosmic Divide available for them. So all they have to do is maybe prep up that wall and then get on with that defuse. But right now, what they're doing is they're just checking the site. They want to secure these kills first before they get a defuse. So now Firatic gets one, but Strawberry Bagel trades her out. Strawberry Bagel already with 2 for this round. Is she gonna be the saving grace now for the team? She is! Another clutch now by Strawberry Bagel. What? Clutch Masters of Hearts.
Match point.
It's a clutch hearts, not Komorebi hearts. It's a clutch master hearts, because now they're doing the exact thing that we were kind of hoping that they would. Earlier on, we were talking about Cairo topping the scoreboard, the rest of the team like not quite there with her. This time, tables turn again. Cairo's at the bottom, and it's not a bad thing at all, because she's making use of her utility as a sentinel. Once the spike gets down, she's using her nanoswarms or trying to do whatever else that she can. Meanwhile, Strawberry Bagel, Lolita, Exekis, they're the ones stepping up to the plate, and they're coming up huge with this 1v3 clutches. So, match point now, and this could be it for CCL. They lose this, and they get sent to the lower bracket. If they want to stand a chance of continuing forward with the upper brackets, they have to chain some rounds together now. But still, though, they try to go for a bit of a peek. It's going to be Sway who takes Strawberry Bagel down. One entry fragger gone, one duelist gone, and now it's going to be up to Cairo to lead this charge. Lolita will be able to spray a couple of bullets in towards Sway. Now they have control over the C site. Utilities getting placed down as well now, and it's again going to be another post-plant retakes game for both teams.
They still have the Blade Storm available, so it has to be Lolita making magic, at least for this round, if they want to really secure this win. But there's another Komorebi cast, just really wanted to use that ult to reposition back. But there is that Hunter's Fury from Mythica, and they don't know if the spike is being defused, so they had to risk it all. They had to walk through the wall. But again, it's a 2v2, and now Lolita able to get one. But is it gonna be another clutch here for Exekis? No, it's gonna be Mythica with that clutch instead. They said that it's not over yet. And now it's a 12-10 in favor still of Komorebi Hearts. It's match point. But with how CCL really showed us a retake, that's gonna be possible maybe for overtime right now.
Very kind of possible. 2 more rounds is what they need. But still, economy for Komorebi Hearts looking healthy enough for yet another bye. Plus, they have 2 ultimates on both sides. One with the Blade Storm, the other with the Empress, and then the lockdowns. Anything could happen, but ultimate's a little bit closer for Komorebi Hearts, just because some of them are at 5 to 6. So, again, it comes down to how careful they are, because Sway has been starting to get a little bit inquisitive outside of Garage. She spots a little bit of something, maybe at the gun barrel, fires a couple of warning shots, and that makes Lolita recognize her position. She's backing off for a bit. Recon bolt in towards mid window as well. And we're seeing Komorebi Hearts now trying to make some use of this information that they've gathered.
Yeah, but there are no kills just yet. But it's going to be the run it back now for Strawberry Bagel. They've spotted out the Killjoy there, so they're just gonna run for it and get that kill. That run it back will be stopped at the moment because Sway just really wanted to decide so. But yes, that attacker Killjoy lockdown will give them the space that they need. But there's no lockdown now available for the team of CCL. Lockdown was online, but because of the death of that Killjoy, it's not going to be possible. At least LUU gets that kill already. But Exekis, they decide to take the fight in Garage. But there are trades here now. This might be the last round that we're looking for, because it's all up to Mythica. She won the clutch earlier. Is it going to be enough? It's not going to be enough, because Exekis wins this for the team. Now a 13-10 for Komorebi Hearts. They go and move forward to the upper brackets against Asteria.
Incredible stuff. I mean, coming back down into it, just perfect usage of the run it back. Strawberry Bagel, highest kills in the game, maybe not highest average combat score, but 23-22 against LUU. She is just that sharp, that incredible, that courageous. to push in towards Garage with her ultimate. In fact, getting that one kill on towards Fiorantic, I think, was the catalyst to start things off and turn things around completely for Komorebi Hearts. Getting that one kill, continuing on with the aggression. Sway might have shut down the run it back for the time being, but at the same time, the Empress kind of gave off her position for a second or two, and then it was just down to the perfect setup. Lolita and then Exekeys. One in Garage, Lolita on the side itself, the dash away, and playing off of each other's contact. It's perfect stuff. And, maybe we were saying that historically they weren't winning on Haven, but this is the start of something new. This is Komorebi Hearts starting to win on Haven.
Yeah, and we're gonna say now that this is going to be a trophy win for them, because the map of Haven is a decider, and the decider is just really in favor of them because they're going against Asteria, and right now Couldn't Care Less is pushed down towards the lower bracket, and they're going against G9.
Ooh. That's going to be an interesting one, but that's going to be tomorrow's matches. So if you want to keep your eyes out for that, please do follow the FSL Twitch page, like the Facebook page, and follow the Twitter accounts, every single bit of social media that exists. Of course, on Facebook, you'll have like some extra tidbits as well, because we got a series called Keeping Up with FSL that's hosted by Jenny Ray-Julie, and she goes for interviews with these players to, share a little bit more insight about how they train and what exactly it is that they do, and it's very interesting stuff. I mean, of course, Donut, you being a pro player yourself as well, will be able to share some interesting things with us. Komorebi Hearts, of course, one of the teams that you do know. So, I mean, them winning Haven, this is amazing stuff. But now that they're pretty much confirmed going up against Asteria, any possible thoughts as to how that might play out?
Well, we've seen how Asteria can be very dominating, as we saw earlier, especially for the map of Split. They don't really necessarily give it to their opponents in terms of the space and how powerful the judge plays can be, right?
Oh,
for the
judge plays.
team of Asteria. We didn't really see a lot of judge plays right now for this match, for this best of 3. But I'll be expecting a lot of flights, moves, and also judge plays. Maybe if we're going to be seeing both of them. If earlier on we saw that Lolita's satchel plays were able to get them that entry, then maybe that's going to be what, 2 satchels of Rays together meeting each other with a judge. That would be beautiful, right? That would be cinematic.
Blast pack jousting. Now that sounds like something I really want to try right after this, but whatever it is, that's going to be for tomorrow's matches. And to take you through that action will be, I believe, Donut as well as Jenny Ray-Julie. But for now, we're going to go for a quick break and then the wrap up right after that. So once again, guys, thank you so much for watching, but don't go away just yet, because we got a little bit more Valorant action, a little bit more explanation to do, and then we'll have to go for our FSL Wildcard day number 2 tomorrow. So hopefully we'll see you then, but for now, just don't close your browser just yet, because it's another quick break, very quick, and then we will be right back.
Jaded. Actually,
Oh
the
my
threat
gosh.
isn't in heaven, but Jaded is given that cue. And now that's going to be
Whoa!
the timing of a peak Jaded gets now, and Exekis is gonna get Jaded already. But Catharsis here towards heaven already gets 2. And this lockdown is giving them so much space. And they know
Oh no.
that, oh no, that was just timing for them. They wanted this. Is there enough time for the reposition? Lolita is just waiting it out because they know she now knows where the spike is planted, but she doesn't know where she is. Her opponent is right now. So now that's gonna be the spray for Lolita. She prevails. Set up for their crossfires, and that's Kiro with 1 kill already. And now the lockdown is in place. Is it gonna be a spray down? It is, and now Komorebi Hearts get map number 1 of Ascent. It was such a beautiful comeback. As
Again, pushing past that, if you don't have the smokes, it's a full-on crossfire. Oh, she did not check it. The Rolling Thunder doesn't connect, and in fact, that allows for Exekis to pick up the quick double kill. Instant trades, though, by some time. 15 seconds past this, and Komorebi Hearts are going in for the execution. They get met with the crossfire, and it's all up to Cairo now. She picks up yet another kill in towards Garage, and it's down to the 1v1. Goes in, and with the strafe shot, they're actually able to secure Cairo's Phantom. It might help them a little bit further. Slow warp in, it forces Cairo out. She tries to play off of contact, but doesn't even need it. Mythica just happen, but what they don't expect is El Uwu up over the top of rafters. Now, they're able to find a little bit more, but pushing into this, they don't expect her to hold the off. And do so, not easily at the very least, because of all of this utility. I mean, at the same time, right now, Cosmic Divide just buys that much time for CCL to make another play. Komorebi Hearts might be hiding on the other side of that, and just with the right timing, they push in, they get 1, but they make it a trade instantly. Catharsis is here to stop them from pushing past. Still, though, taking a look at your mini-map, they're going in towards vents so fast. Sway's here to stop them, though, and there's the spray down. Oh my god, it's a double. Just like that, you got 15 seconds remaining. Exekis has got question marks in the head. She's so paranoid about getting the spike down now. At this point, it's a bit of a gamble. She tries to stick it, gets taken out by Sway. And Cairo has to be the one to save the day, but she cannot. A quad.
Cairo KV, what can she do? Their Exekis has the Hunter's Fury, so they know, but that's gonna be a cue at least for her to get that kill. But Firatic is gonna push her. She could get the kill. Cass just really wanted to use that ult to reposition back, but there is that Hunter's Fury from Mythica, and they don't know if the spike is being defused, so they had to risk it all. They had to walk through the wall, but again, it's a 2v2, and now Lolita able to get 1. But is it gonna be another clutch here for Exekis? No, it's gonna be Mythica with the was online, but because of the death of that Killjoy, it's not gonna be possible. At least El Uwu gets that kill already. But Exekis, they decide to take the fight in Garage. But there are trades here now. This might be the last round that we're looking for because it's all up to Mythica. She won the clutch earlier. Is it gonna be enough? It's not gonna be enough because Exekis wins this.
Hi guys, and welcome back to our final disc segment of today's VCT Game Changers Southeast Asia Series FSL Circuit. It's me, Genevieve originally, and joining me on the desk to wrap up today's 2 best-of-3 series is your caster from the last game, it's Donut!
Hi guys. I'm so excited to really be casting. That was just a close match because what I really saw earlier, there was a trend between Couldn't Care Less and Komorebi Hearts. Okay, the first match, Couldn't Care Less got that lead, but it's going to be the momentum that brought back Komorebi Hearts to get that first win. And then it was deja vu at that point for map number 2 because it turned things around. It was Komorebi Hearts with a big lead, and now Couldn't Care Less really progressing through that momentum that they were able to pick up. So that was really a heated game, a best of 3 between the two.
Yeah, it was absolutely insane. I mean, just watching the games as well as you're talking about, just the comeback in both that map number 1 and map number 2. I think I remember map number 1, the score was something like 1-5. It was super one-sided at the start, 3-8 as well, until suddenly it got tied to pretty much like 10-9, and then Komorebi managed to pull off the comeback, and then couldn't care less. We're like, wait, hold up, they can do that? And then they pretty much did the same thing in map number 2. It was just super insane. And then map 3 as well, like I was not expecting such a close game in map number 3. I think in the pre-match analysis that we did before the second best of 3 as well, like we were talking about how we kind of had a bit of doubts as to how well Komorebi Hearts were going to do on Haven if the series did go to that third map, just because historically they have 0 wins on Haven up until just now. Like finally they managed to pull it out right where it counted, and yeah, that was just a pretty exciting match for me to watch. I want to ask, how do you think that both these teams will do tomorrow? Of course, Komorebi, they're going to continue on in the upper bracket, whereas for Couldn't Care Less, since we are playing in a winners and lower bracket double elimination system, they do still have a chance to make it up through the upper bracket. How do you think they'll do?
Well, in terms of how we saw Komorebi Hearts now, I think they really have a shot against Asteria, especially with how well the duelists were able to play in the map of Haven. And I think that's going to be their playground now. If they did have 0 wins right now, this might be again the momentum that we're looking for Komorebi Hearts going into, of course, the upper brackets. But for the team of CCL, they're going against G9 here. And as we saw earlier, G9 did have a shot at split against the team of Asteria, but it was just domination for map. So I think for the map of Icebox, so I think what would help really the team of G9 is the perfect selection of the maps, maybe winning the coin toss and maybe deciding which side they should go for. Because for CCL, I've noticed that they're stronger on that defense. So maybe if CCL is able to gain that attack side first, then they bring it back during the defense.
Yeah, I agree. And also, guys, if you're currently watching over on the English stream, I think we're the last stream that's still going on for tonight, because ours was the only series that went to a 2-1, as you guys saw in the brackets just now. Mad Army, especially with that fast 2-0. Guys, if you want to check out the other games, we do have a couple of other streams available in a couple of other languages. I believe if you're watching the English stream right now, you're either on Facebook or twitch.tv/FSL, but we do have a Bahasa as well as Thai stream for you guys to check out the other games over on YouTube and Twitch. So as we're talking about, you know, both the losing teams still have a chance tomorrow to fight the way back up through the lower bracket. I think we're going to be starting tomorrow off with the upper bracket, the Asteria versus Komorebi game as well, and then we have a best of 5 right after that. So super exciting stuff. That's it for us for day number 1 of the Valorant Champions Tour Game Changer C Series FSL Wildcard Playoffs, brought to you by our sponsor Intel, supported by Yahoo as well as Secret Lab. We'll be back tomorrow to find out which team takes the first FSL wildcard spot into FSL Elite. If you guys want to continue watching how women in esports are changing the game, then we'll see all of you back here again tomorrow. Bye! We'd like to thank Intel for believing in us and supporting women in the gaming community. The new core and graphics architectures of the 11th gen Intel Core processors elevate laptop and desktop gaming performance for all types of gamers, from the overclockable K processor line for desktops to the U processor line with integrated graphics. Intel has a product for the hardcore PC gamer and streamer, as well as the gamer on the go.